Okay, I appear to be live, so I'm going to take that as a positive. Welcome to Felwood. We're the last of the Furbog race. The Timbermaw tribe remains uncorrupted, yet we face the same hostility from outsiders. Most believe it is not possible that there could be Furbog that escaped corruption, even though we've actually seen some in Ashara and in Darkshore and Teldrassil. But no matter. Angry at those that strive to make enemies too quickly, my brethren now attack any that draw near. They trust no one. But perhaps if you strive to make your presence peaceful with them, they might look upon you as an ally. The Furbog village to the south is home to the Deadwood tribe, sworn enemy of the Timbermaw. They are corrupted and foul like so many others, driven mad by the taint of these woods. Something unusual has occurred near the village, though. Travelers coming here have said that the totem next to the road has spoken to them. I have heard nothing every time I approach it. Maybe it will speak to you. Hello, Lemon Cave.
Greetings.
At this lake, the crystal of Zin Malor was stolen by the Highborn. The crystal was a powerful artifact that bent arcane magic in wild and unpredictable ways, but it could only be held by the worthy and brought doom upon all others. The spirits that wander here span generations, each shackled by Zin Malor. Some will speak and tell of their fate. Should you wish to learn, seek the spirit at the center of the lake.
Delnadris. I am listening.
The cleansing of this forest has been a grueling process. For every success we have achieved, a new challenge has arisen. The Jadefire Satyr have been a constant nuisance. They seek to corrupt the forest just as we seek to cleanse it. Now we have taken steps to begin eradicating them from Felwood entirely. Travel to the Jadefire Glen to the west and rid the forest of their presence.
Goodbye.
The winds guide you.
The sickening corruption of demons pervades this entire forest. The soil, the trees, the animals, all grow thick with fell magics. We of the Emerald Circle have sworn to cleanse this forest, and in so doing requires a constant battle. While some life here can still be healed, the bears and wolves that wander nearby have been twisted too far. We must end their suffering and ensure their bodies do not spread the taint any further.
Go in peace.
So once again, you want us to save people by killing them. That seems to be a fairly common trend. You ever notice that? Corrupted pelt. Gnarled and marred with vicious scars and bolts. Ew. So I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a lonely stream for about an hour. Give or take. So while I'm just standing here talking in a vacuum, I might as well discuss the Felwood. So this is probably the, I'd say, second best example of what Fel corruption can do to a territory in the entire game. The actual better example would of course be Shadowmoon Valley, which I will actually try to showcase something for you just to really get across a point. Hey, Joe Spender. And hello, Sungania? Am I saying that right? Hopefully. Excuse me. But the funny thing is, Felwood is relatively uncorrupted compared to, well, again, compared to Shadowmoon Valley. But even with this relative lack of corruption, even with the fact that Felwood was only corrupted somewhat recently, and very briefly, too. We're talking like a few days or weeks of corruption here in the Felwood, and it's this devastating. It's basically completely destroyed this zone's habitability, like forever. And all of that happened over the course of a few days. But this is actually the zone we've been here in Warcraft 3. This is the zone, this is the overall area, I should say, that Tichondrius was excuse me, was in when he was preparing for the assault on Mount Hyjal, when we ended up defeating Tichondrius when we were playing as Illidan. That's here. And this is this is the spot that Archimonde specifically was like, you must corrupt this land in order to weaken the Night Elf defenses so we can assault Hyjal. That's here. That's what they were doing here.
What brings you here?
I will see to it that these are burned swiftly and safely.
Ancestors watch.
Okay. We'll see a little bit more of the Fel corruption a bit. This area doesn't look that corrupted, and that's because it really isn't. But trust me, it'll get worse when we go further in. So here's a really ugly totem.
You. Yes, you. I have chosen you, Pandaren, as my champion. You will do the work of Rumbo.
Okay.
You stand before the mighty Rumbo. Rumbo demands justice. You wanderer, bow before the mighty Rumbo, great god of Timbermaw tribe. Hear my will. Evil Deadwood tribe live in the village behind me. They are big jerks. I mean, they sully my name with their wicked misdeeds. They persecute my cherished Timbermaw tribe to hurt them. I demand you inflict my justice. Defeat the Deadwood and I will give you my favor. Yes! Favor of Rumbo. Rumbo demands honey. Rumbo hungers. The Deadwood jerks have stolen all the honey from the Timbermaw tribe. Rumbo saw them do it. Now Rumbo must have that honey. Take this stick. Yes, the stick. Take the stick and use it to steal the honey from the beehives. Rumbo must have as much honey as possible. This is vital.
Okay. Good morning, little Billy. So he wants honey. It's like the WoW equivalent of Winnie the Pooh. So, really quick, how many of you out there remember grinding these Furbog in this zone for weeks? Yeah, I think weeks is the appropriate word to use there. Weeks and weeks and weeks. Oh my god, I got so tired of killing Furbog. Well, there's a similarity between the two, Little Billy, so that might be why. Ah! Why is the webcam in front of that? That shouldn't be. There we go. Hi, Myron. Excuse me. I'm glad you're liking the Oblivion roleplay, Myron. How far along are you, out of curiosity? And thank you for the donation. Alright. So for those of you not aware, when you were trying to get exalted with the Timbermaw tribe, you would attack these guys. Oh god, bees! 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 Oh god, bees! Ahem. And the ones in the further north area, which you would eventually do. And it was just an incredible slog. Like, there was no subtlety, there was no complexity, there was no anything. It was just kill, and kill, and kill, and kill. And it was one of the most boring things I've ever done in this entire game, was getting exalted with these bastards. And I hated it. I hated every moment of it. I wanted to stab myself so badly, because it was just so boring. Ah, gotcha, Myron. Anyways, so, it is worth discussion that, as much as they talk about, oh, we're the only Furbog that escaped corruption. Obviously, that's not true. We've seen other Furbog that escaped the Fel corruption. But to be a little more specific, this used to be the center of the Furbog people, basically. Even though all Furbog are a part of different tribes and coordinate differently and don't really, belong to the same political entity, all Furbog owe a loyalty to the Hold, which is actually in the north end of this zone. So Felwood, or whatever it was called beforehand, I couldn't actually find the answer to that, was the location where all Furbog would come regularly, which is a little bit ironic, and to my knowledge was unintentional. What I mean by this is, so Furbog are automatically more susceptible to corruption than other creatures are, right? Well, than most other creatures are. They're like dryads like that. So, excuse me. Thank you, Jengies. I'm glad you like it. Or the bees just ran out. Sure, I'm okay with that. So they're more susceptible to corruption. But it's okay as long as the Furbogs stay away from the corruption itself. They're good. Except the area that was most heavily hit by the corruption during the Third War is right here, which happens to be the spot that Furbogs would come back to regularly no matter what their tribe. So, thanks to this kind of... I don't even know what to call this. It's like flu system of spreading. Yeah, pretty much every single one of the Furbog tribes out there at least got some of their people corrupted based on how many of them came here, and then they went back home and spread the corruption back home, and so forth and so on. This is, of course, specifically fell corruption, if the green water didn't give it away. And the fact that it's called fell wood. I guess it didn't always used to be fell wood. I know, Hylas. I am... yeah. I went to bed early, too, just to try and accommodate it. It's just like, oh, why? Yeah, so for anybody curious why we're streaming early today, it's because of daylight savings time and the fact that I happen to live in a place that adheres to that. So, whatever. You know, there are certain things that we in the States do, the United States, that I agree with, and I understand why we keep doing it, even though the rest of the world doesn't. The metric to imperial system is a good example of that. The amount of effort it would take to completely convert every sign and every instrument and every book and everything in the entire country to to metric would be a monumental achievement. And it would take years and years and years to accomplish, and that's even if they did it properly. By contrast, switching out of daylight savings time would take 3 seconds. Okay, that's an exaggeration. My friend and I actually did the work, the math, or not the math. We did an estimate at one point in time. We figured out that all it would take is about a day and a half to write a specific type of code, and maybe about a week to implement it, and bam. And yes, Maddie Bo, this is my full-time job. Not just streaming, I have a YouTube channel as well. But, you know, the online thing, my show, is my full-time job, yes. So yeah, changing off of daylight savings time would be such a quick, easy thing for us to do. And there's no reason to do it anymore. The reason for it existing was debatable to begin with, and isn't valid anymore. Good morning, Deutsch. Forgive me if I'm a little out of it, because it's technically an hour earlier for me. At least for my body. Which is like, why are you up so early? What are you doing, Harsh? Come on, go back to sleep. And I'm like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. Doesn't help I've been tired lately in general. Anyways. One thing I want to point out is they have not really succeeded in reclaiming Fellwood at all. Not really. Like, if you were to look around here, it's like, wow. Because this place does seem relatively uncorrupted compared to, say, anything else. But that uncorruption is mostly due to a lack of how much time was spent on corrupting this forest. And as I've mentioned before, when we get further north, it'll get a lot worse. So the Emerald Circle actually has basically failed at reclaiming Fellwood in the last... Oh, let's look that up, shall we? Let's figure out our exact timeline here. In about 8 years, they have failed to reclaim Fellwood. These are the people who managed to, in 2 years, turned Desolus from Desolus into that lush forest. These are the same people who managed to make Nagrand and the the Blades Edge Mountains livable and functional. And they can't do anything here. I actually have a theory about that, but I want to save that until we've got a few more viewers to chat about it.
How may I help?
The Emerald Circle thanks you, Iron Man. If we can all work together here, we can purge these demons from our midst.
Asha Fela.
Now, of course, there is one other non-theory related reason as to why this is, and it's actually really simple and obvious. There are actually Satyr here who are actively making things worse, as we just killed. There are Satyr who have congregated here, who are like, we want to make sure the Fel stays because we're evil. Hey, Psychotic. It worked! Yes, Will of Rumbo has been carried out. You've done well. Take shiny coins. Rumbo can smell whether you got honey or not. Hello, Loffet. Honey, delicious honey. Well done, ugly creature. You may have put the honey there. No, to the left. Yes, right there. Just leave it there. You've done well, Pandaran. Rumbo is pleased by your bravery and the delicious honey you've given Rumbo. Now you must dance! Dance for Rumbo, dance! Dancing all around. Shh, they can hear you, dummy. Don't call me dummy, dummy. Ow! Now they can see us. Run! I will destroy you, puny cubs. And yes, the Skull of Gul'dan was here, as I mentioned earlier. This is where Illidan took it and used it to become an artificial demon. Actually, no, we didn't skip Silithus, Hylisk. We actually sat there and talked about it for a while. So. No, we're talking, yeah. Yeah, we didn't skip Silithus. We just didn't do quests there because there's no reason to do quests there. 19 quests is stupid and boring. But we did fly around talking about it for a while. Those two brats, I should have known. They were smart enough to hush whenever I went to examine the totem. I'll be sure to find them and drag them back to Timbermaw Hole by the ears. Thank you for the info. You're welcome. Hey, what's up?
Can I assist you?
Yes, Deutsch, they do. Of two varieties, actually. Hey, Charlord. I hope to be done kind of early today, because I've got something basically waiting on me. But the intention is to finish Felwood and Winterspring today. And thus finish off Kalimdor today. The Emerald Circle has sworn to accept the help of any who wish to fight the demons of Felwood. Though my people have long shunned the arcane, we cannot deny ourselves the advantage here. Arcanist Dalaris, a surviving highborn, helps us battle the Jadefire Satyr. Follow the road north and you'll find her at the encampment.
Del Nadris.
I believe so, yes, I got it. Hello, Gemkey. That emote is terrifying. So normally I'd say, who wants to bet if we'll hit 60 here or in Winterspring? But we are literally, like, what is it, 6 bubbles away from 59, and we just started Felwood. We're probably going to hit 60 in Felwood. I'm a little surprised how slow we've been leveling. Granted, we haven't been doing any dungeons. And we didn't do a couple of zones. But, yeah, I'm really shocked at how slow this leveling experience has been. When I was on my Worgen and Goblin who were going through Kalimdor, they were both 63-something by the time they finished. Holy crap, look! Green! Actual green! Around the Arcane Mage.
Elune Adore.
There is little time for talk, Monk. The druids fight valiantly against the Satyr, but fell sorcery blocks their plan.
May the stars guide you.
The Satyr hide behind their corrupted moonwell. It's an impenetrable barrier of demonic fire. Their forces must have some way of getting through it. Interrogating the Satyr will be useless, but the imps they consort with will be easily swayed. I have a specific one in mind as well. In the foothills to the east, a lone imp has been seen wandering, far from the others. He should prove easy pickings. Weaken him, and then use this enchanted sack to capture him.
I'll do the talking.
Good luck, friend.
Hello, Darker. Yeah, I feel really bad for the Furbogs here, for the reasons already discussed. So we're about to literally bag an imp. But of course, it can't be an ordinary bag. It's a bag that has been enchanted and has tons of arcane runes on it to keep whatever's inside there. Keep them stuck there, basically. Impsy, where are you? Hey, Impsy. There we go. Now we've got him on our bag there. On our back. So I suppose I'll go ahead and give my big theory, since I'm just walking around here. I think the reason the druids have yet to reclaim this area is because it's fel energy. Now, allow me to explain a little bit what I mean by that. If we're to look at the cosmological axis of Warcraft, natural energy, druidic energy, is opposite to necromancy, death, undead energy, right? So, in places where they're trying to fight dead land, like in the Plague Lands, they've actually succeeded. As we'll see when we get to the Western Plague Lands, the Eastern Plague Lands, the Druids have actually managed to reclaim some of those lands. And that makes sense to me, because it's direct opposite, so it's well suited to combating it, right? So it's kind of like this. Here's dead energy, and here's druidic energy. Fel energy is up here. Fel energy's opposite is actually arcane energy, because fel energy roughly conforms to chaos, with arcane energy roughly conforming to order. Life doesn't directly oppose chaos. Life doesn't directly oppose fel energy. So I personally think that the reason they've been having so little success here, in addition to the fact that there's several factors working against them, like the frickin' satyrs who are making everything worse, is the fact that they're using the wrong energy type. And of course they would. I mean, the Emerald Circle would, or excuse me, the Cenarian Circle would never want to use arcane energy in order to try and restore land. That would just be heretical, basically, to them. Hey, Takoida. That reminds me, I need someone, so I wanted to test the plugin earlier, but no one was on to help me test it. So could someone help me test it really quick? Preferably someone who isn't, someone like Darker. Darker, could I test it on you? Someone I know isn't on the regular list is basically what I need. Because I was asked by the person to... or Takoida, are you on the regulars list? I need someone who's not on the regulars list. That's what I need. I need to ban someone temporarily to test if our plugin is working again. I think you are Psychotic. Okay, I'll use your Charlord. I know you're not on it, Charlord, so... Oh! It looks like it worked. It looks like it worked. Holy crap. Whoops, wrong command. Wrong command. Need to do this. There we go. Fixed. Just to make 100% super sure, I'm going to try something weird here. For the sake of troubleshooting, okay? So, Deutsch, love you, buddy, but bam! Oh, it worked! Look, it worked. It actually works. Yes, okay. Okay. God damn it. Unban. There we go. And mod. It worked even on a mod. I'm going to have to go update the ticket. In fact, I'm going to do that right now before I forget. There we go. Replied. Okay, so now we are officially back to using the plugin. Yay.
Okay. Woo! You like my Felwood picture up there, by the way? Type in exclamation point power, gem key.
Ishnu Dal Dieb.
Imps are creatures of deception. With so many of them spotted at Shadowlurk Ridge, I'm positive something is being hidden there. Our little friend will tell us exactly how to find it. If it doesn't want to go back in the sack.
Be careful.
Attack! Attack! Just keep that perfumed bag away from me.
Yeah, your stuck-up mage friend there hit it on the nose. The imps over at Shadowlurk Ridge are hiding the key to the satyr's barrier in the nether. It's right there, but you can't see it or touch it unless you're shifted. I guess you're out of luck, though, because only imps can phase shift. Nah. You should just close your eyes, turn around, and let me go. It was a joke. It was a joke. Please don't hurt me. I'll need slime from the cursed oozes around the ruins. Bring me enough to cover you head to toe.
So, I love this, by the way. This is an interesting gameplay story integration thing. For those of you who have never played a Warlock, imps have an ability called Phase Shift, where they phase into the nether for a bit. And I don't even remember the benefits of it, but it's something they can do. So, the fact that the imp actually has the ability to phase shift and that that's a plot point just amuses me. So, Takoida, you know me, right? I mean, well, you don't know me, but you've probably seen me stream a few times, and you know that I tend to enjoy the idea of, for example, darkness is not evil. See Kingdom Hearts for a good example of that. However, I am fairly certain that fel energy is pretty universally evil. Necromantic energy is not necessarily evil. Arcane energy is not necessarily evil. Wild energy is not necessarily evil. Light is not necessarily evil. Void is not necessarily evil. But fel energy is pretty universally evil in this setting. I'm actually racking my brain right now trying to think if there's any exceptions to that I can come up with. Because fel energy is just so naturally disruptive to everything else. And like I said, it is effectively chaos on the cosmological axis. Or axis, if you prefer. Like, even people who... See, there are people who can use fel energy without being evil. That's a thing. The player character is arguably a person like that if you're playing a warlock. Or a demon hunter, for that matter. And as I've pointed out, Illidan was not actually evil, right? But that's different. That's not like they can use it for good. They have sufficient willpower and discipline to resist the corruption. Like, that's actually what's happening there. So the fel itself is still trying to corrupt them into some evil, horrible thing, and they're just resisting it and using it regardless. As opposed to, say, darkness in Kingdom Hearts, which... evil people are inclined to use it, but the darkness itself does not corrupt them, does not make them evil, right? You see the difference? Fel energy is actively trying to turn you into a chaotic, violent force, constantly. I imagine the answer to Charlord's question will come out next Wednesday, because my answer to you, Charlord, is, I don't know. Supposedly, there is a chapter in the book called The Creation of the Universe, or something like that. So, we'll see there when we get to that.
You got the slime?
Oh, good, you're back. Don't leave me alone with her. She's crazy. Give me that. I'll have you invisible in no time. I've added a drop of my own essence to the ooze. Look for a glowing sigil to the west, at the end of Shadowlurk Ridge. Stand on it, concentrate, and pour this stuff all over yourself. Should be enough to shift you into the nether and get to see what's really there. Oh, you won't be alone. The satyr's treasure will be guarded by the biggest void stalker they could summon it. Defeat him and the treasure's yours. Come back in one piece or this crazy broad's gonna fry me. It's okay, MC. Notice the arcane eyes there, by the way. Yes, the vote has officially been yes, Deutsch. By a ridiculously overwhelming margin. Like, there were people, I want to say like 11 people who voted no, and closer to 100-something who voted yes. So, by the will of democracy, we will be reading it. No, I'm totally not on a fel horse in Felwood.
Damn it. Why don't I have flying yet? I know the answer to that. You're kind of looking at it, actually. See what's happening to these trees here? And how they're kind of twisted and warped, and that one has what looks like a face, and it's dripping ichor. That's kind of what Fel Corruption looks like. You really want to see Fel Corruption, though, go to Shadowmoon Valley in Outland. That is Fel Corruption. That is horrific Fel Corruption. Also, a portion of the Tanan jungle in Warlords is a fairly obvious example of Fel Corruption. Oh, here it is. See, I thought it was around here somewhere. Shimmer, 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 shimmer. I haven't decided the best time to talk about the Black Harvest. I do intend to, absolutely. It's just, you know, not sure when. The visuals are very similar. They're not actually identical, but you have to be basically looking at them side by side to really tell the difference. Basically, oh, there he is. The Blight Goop is usually a more dull and vicious-looking green. Whereas Fel Energy is usually much, much more vibrant-looking. Oh, I could show you that too, Venters. Can you hear me, Armand? Do you have the claw? The claw of Tichondrius. You hold a piece of the very demon that led the Legion to these woods. Better for it to be in our hands than the satyr. Hold still, I'm going to pull you back to our plane and make sure you arrive here safely. Wait, what are you... Ah! Freaking mages.
I am listening.
I like this quote, by the way. I am well aware the demonic presence in this forest can be considered the fault of my kind. I am also not the first Highborn to attempt to make amends for this, and I thank the Emerald Circle for being pragmatic enough to allow my help. With the Claw, we are ready to break through the Jadefire's defenses. Head to the ruins to the northwest, beyond the front line of the Satyr, and you'll find a narrow pass to their corrupted moonwell. An enormous wall of demonic flame bars the path, but the Claw should dispel it. Beyond the barrier, you'll find the leader of these forces, Zavrathras, guarding the corrupted moonwell.
Farewell.
Because this is the only zone they deliberately did it to, Gemkey. Fel corruption doesn't actually spread naturally, not like undead corruption or nightmare corruption, void corruption. Fel corruption has to be pushed, if that makes any sense. So, the Felwood, like I said, was the one zone where Tichondrius and the Legion forces, when they were invading here, during Warcraft 3, specifically were like, corrupt, 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 corrupt. No, we already dealt with him, Ventures. It's... Wow, these quests are great. No wonder I'm not leveling right now. Maybe I won't hit 60 in Felwood. Holy crap. We're actually over the gray line. I haven't talked about the Emerald Circle yet, but I think we'll save that for just a moment.
Peace be with you.
Hang on, real quick. I'll answer Venture's question in just a second. It's time for the final push against the Jadefire. If you're prepared to break through the barrier, I'd also ask that you kill the Lesser Satyr. Our druids fight ferociously, but your strength can help turn the battle. Okay.
Asha Fela.
Bingo, Tekoida. Hey, Tetris. So, if you'll give me a moment. Okay. See this thing? Here, I'll even give you a nice up-close shot of it. Near as I am aware, no, Genghis. No, we've actually already done Outland, Gemkey. So I want you to look at this creature really close, Ventures. See you around, Charlord. Have a good day at work. See it? Just get it into your mind. This is a massive Dread Raven, okay? This is a Dread Raven. This is a Dread Raven on drugs. This is what the same creature looks like when corrupted by Fel energies. As you can see, it is quite literally on fire. And you can see that very vibrant green hue, especially around the mouth, but also around here and on the wings. So like I said, this is effectively the same creature, just corrupted by Fel. It's a great way to show the difference side by side of normal and Fel corruption. I also plan to show you the difference in Shadowmoon once we get there.
It is not in pain, thankfully. Pretty sure. Pretty sure it's not in pain. I suppose I should add an asterisk that. I'm not 100% certain if it's not in pain, no. Anyways, you were referring to the areas around the Mannoroth, the place where Mannoroth died. Felt coolness. Its soul is on fire. I'd say that's actually a fairly apt description, yes. However, to my knowledge of how Fel Energy works, the fact that it is not actively using Fel Energy means it's not actually destroying its own life force to do it. Sigleaf, I know, Twitch hates me. Long story short, starting March 22nd, the lore run will start going live on YouTube. And that will start with the vanilla stuff and then shift immediately into BC. So that's where you'll be able to find that stuff. Just not yet, not until March 22nd. Bathed in the blood of demons, these corrupted Dreadwings are significantly more aggressive. They'll actually kill each other if kept in confinement with others. How's that for fun? You can do it, Lemon. You can do it. Nah, I'm kidding. You can't do it. You'll never hit 100. You might as well just give up. So, as I mentioned, there's actually quite a bit of a Satyr force here. Down in the Jadefire area, which is around here. And there's another area up here, which we'll be dealing with once we get further north. It's logical for the Satyr to congregate here, not just because of the fact that this is this horrible, fel-infused place, but because of the fact that they're actively trying to make the place work. I want to stress something, though. The Satyr are effectively doing this out of spite. I'm serious. They are just doing this out of spite. All they're doing is, like, hanging out like, we're gonna make sure that those Night Elves never accomplish anything. They have no goal, is what I'm trying to explain. They have no long-term method. They're not doing this in behalf of their Legion Masters. They're not trying to summon the Legion to the sun. No, they're just trying to piss off the Night Elves. They're effectively trolling them by negatively influencing their attempts to reclaim the area. It's just, yeah. Hey, look. That wouldn't surprise me, Takoida. I could only speculate on the reality, though. So which method do you use, Darker? Because I've heard of a method to speed level through Warlords, but I actually tried it once, and it was terrible, and it didn't actually work for me. It was actually faster to quest. So, I'm curious what method you came across. No. Fire would not help here. I've already given my hint as to what I think would help. Rather than using druidic energies, I think arcane energies, being guided by druidic energies, would actually help redeem this area. Or if I could put it another way, you need to get rid of the infection before you can heal the wound. So I think they should actually be using arcane and through the area to get rid of the fel corruption. Then the druids can come in and rebuild the forest after they've basically burned it to the ground, for all intents and purposes. So that's my opinion on what is needed here to actually make this work. Gotcha, Darker. Bonus objectives.
Goddess bless you.
A few of the remaining Satyr have fled into the deeper woods, but they have taken heavy losses.
Goddess watch over you.
Pretty much, Dakota, yeah. Oh my god, that makes so much sense, Jenkins.
Ishnu Allah.
See what can get done with a little cooperation. I'll make sure the claw is given to people responsible to contain such things, assuming it can't be destroyed.
Asha Fela.
Before you go, I've taken advantage of my alone time with the Impsy here. I've learned something interesting about imps. Specifically, he ended up telling me the one thing that all imps fear the most. Something they're absolutely terrified of. I thought that sounded useful as well as interesting, so I've done some basic conjuring. This prism will project an image of, well, what Imsy described. The Shadowlurk Ridge is still swarming with imps. Why don't you test their reaction for me?
Farewell.
Okay, I can do that. What do you want?
What brings you here?
The cultists you saw guarding the Claw were members of the Shadow Council, warlocks behind nearly every attempt to bring Demon into Azeroth, except the first 20 or so. North of here is Jadenar, named in worship of Kil'jaeden himself. Deep beneath it lies Shadowhold, a former barrow den, and the Shadow Council's stronghold on Azeroth. Take these herbs to Wildheart Point, and Greta Mosshood will need them for her plan to purify the Shadowhold.
Elune light your path.
Interesting, Darker. I might do that at some point, maybe. I still need to push like 6 characters to 100 in preparation for Legion. And I'm going to do it with a friend of mine. As I say, if there's an add-on for that, it might be great. Oh, okay, here's the imps. Let's see what it does. Rainbow power! Bathe in the light. Behold. That's a good question, Takoida. I don't know is the honest answer, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it's highly possible, yes. Behold! Friendship truly is magic. Look how they run and scream from my joy and happiness. I put you out of your misery, little imps. Excuse me. I have the Handy Notes Warlords plugin. I was using it to get all the treasures back when I cared about that.
What brings you here?
I see. Their eyes are open. Maybe I'll keep Impsy around after all. He's got a lot to teach me.
May the stars guide
So
you.
she gives you a accessory called the Rainbow Generator. What it does, well, you know what, I'll just demonstrate for you, won't I? I may even release that guy's soul, for the moment, to generate rainbow power. Damn it. Oh, wait. My desk is so filled with things. Cluttered, I suppose, is the word here. But before we go fill things with rainbows... That sounds kind of weird. Here, I'll just demonstrate it really quick. This is what the rainbow thing does. Rainbow power! You can just whisper it, Darker. Or you can whisper it to Deutsch and then he could post it. Actually, there will not, Takoida. There could be, though. Instead of leveling a rogue as our Forsaken, we could level a warlock. But you guys already voted for rogue, so I am stuck with the worst class in the game. I mean, best class.
I've been expecting you.
Ah, just what I was expecting. With these herbs, the One Joker has finally arrived.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
We must prepare carefully for assaulting Jadenar. The magic of the warlocks and demons within Jadenar is strong, and we'll need wards of our own before entering. We need only one more ingredient, Crying Violet, which grows in the hills near the enemy stronghold.
Walk with the Earth Mother.
Hello.
Hello, Monk. I am Jasir Moonbow. I've come from Darnassa seeking two friends who came looking for signs of the Shadow Council in Felwood. It seems those vile creatures who claim responsibility for much of the Orcish race's suffering seek to regain some of its power. My two friends went looking in Jadenar to prove one way or another what was happening. I expected them to be here when I arrived, but they are now days late. The Shadow Council perpetuates the corruption of this land. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the other force preventing this place from being healed. So we've got the Satyrs working against them. We've got the Shadow Council working against them. And the fact that they're using the wrong energies working against them.
Good luck, friend.
I mean, yeah. The deck is very severely stacked against the reclamation of Felwood. Unlike the Satyrs, at least the Shadow Council are doing it for the sake of, you know, trying to re-summon the Legion and bring their masters to power again. I can at least get behind that idea. At least they're doing something, doing it for a reason, you know. As opposed to just, ha ha, stupid Night Elves, stupid Emeralds. So I suppose this is a good time as any to talk about the Shadow Council. The original Shadow Council was an organization founded by a gentleman you may have heard of called Gul'dan. It was his,
Anaria Shola.
What the...
Yes?
Huh. That's a really weird attempt at making an undead blood elf. Look at that. Anyways. So notice these are all bowing in supplication towards the great Zoltan, who of course is a pet dude. Wow, Jinkies. Okay, there's the power leveling. I'm going to go ahead and click that myself for when we do it. 2 hours. Wow, someone broke the record. I remember when someone hit it in 4 hours and everyone was really impressed by that. And understandably, 4 hours from 90 to 100 is not exactly a shabby thing. Anyway, so, Shadow Council. The original Shadow Council was Gul'dan's forces, his particular group of people, which included Terengar and Cho'Gall, among others, who were specifically loyal to him and no one and nothing else. Excuse me. And their entire purpose was enforcing the will of the Legion upon the demonic horde. Now, the Shadow Council in that format effectively ceased to exist as soon as Orgrim Doomhammer took the reins of the War Chief after Warcraft 1, prior to Warcraft 2. When he did so, he slaughtered most of the Shadow Council members who were remaining, with very few exceptions, and the Shadow Council effectively stopped existing. Well, Zawan, I did a little math last night. When we finish today, we should be about 50% of the way through the entire lore run. Assuming we finish Winter Spring today. Which is to say, Kalimdor. This Shadow Council, just like the Twilight's Hammer, is a different organization that uses the same name. Their purpose is, of course, the exact same as their previous purpose, aka, we are going to bring forth the Legion in power and death, blah, blah, blah. The one big difference here is this organization is actually run by a Nethrezim. I forget his name. I don't think it matters because he has no lines or no relevance to anything other than being the head of the Shadow Council. And, I told you, Deutsch. Oh, Felwood? Like a fourth. There's a bunch of quests further up. So this is he has invoked the will, you know, the glorious term of the Shadow Council to make everyone who's a part of it feel like there's something that relevant, you know, they're part of something bigger than themselves, and they shall lead on to glory and power and demonically tainted moonwells, which look kind of horrifying when you really look at them. Anywho. This Shadow Council is kind of funny because their purpose is to spread as much demonic corruption as they can across everywhere. And yet the really weird thing about them is, despite being very widespread, they are also very unsuccessful. When compared with their the Twilight's Hammer and their level of pervasiveness and success. The Twilight's Hammer, you're welcome, Nothrism. The Twilight's Hammer are way, way more successful at infiltration and manipulation and control, whereas the Shadow Council basically infiltrates everywhere and then loses. What I'm trying to say here is the Shadow Council is basically a joke. Other than the fact that they are interfering with the salvation of Felwood, they haven't really accomplished like anything. Well, that's a good question, Hylisk, and there's two answers to that. Answer number one is they didn't care because, you know, they thought the satyrs were beneath them. Or answer number two is they tried and failed for some unknown reason. Maybe because the satyrs believed the Shadow Council was beneath them. Because the Shadow Council, as I just mentioned, fails constantly.
Elune be with you.
Can you feel the evil that taints the very ground? It comes from deep down within Shadowhold. Unchecked, it will swallow everything in its path. Right, now with their forces weakened, we can attack. Have you found the Crying Violet? Wonderful. Greta chose wisely when she asked you to perform this task.
Good luck, friend.
One of those blasted Jadenar demons saw me, gave me a good slash in the side. The wound isn't pretty, but I'll live. There are more urgent matters at hand, like stopping the Shadow Council from launching a full-scale assault on our friends at Wildheart Point. You know, they could attack right now and win. There's like 5 guys over there. The flowers you brought me were the essential ingredient. Protective barriers surround Shadowhold, projected from demonic braziers. If we are to drive the Shadow Council from Felwood, those braziers must be extinguished. I can do that. This vial has been infused with violet magic. If you use it, you will kill everyone in your path. I don't know, Deutsch. They're not the only setting that does. They're not the only franchise or company or whatever that does that. It's a common thing. Probably harkening back to the Mongol hordes if I was specifically to point to something in history like that. I could also point to the fact that armies back in the day used to be really large, like tens of thousands large, you know. Also, why would anyone make a female Worgen? I shake my head at that poor person. Oh, right, I'm an idiot. Probably really unpleasant, Durger. Oh, yes, sorry, Last Exile, I missed your question. Yes. There's still wells of power, it's just, yeah. Let's go ahead and get some of that power, yes. Yes. Power. Unlimited power. Think what I could do if I was a fell monk. Actually, that does sound really cool. Anyways.
Can I assist you?
Do you have the waters? Why would you make a female dwarf? Ahem.
May the stars guide you.
With the outer sentries gone, the greater members of the Shadow Council are next. Deep within, you'll find warlocks, hunters, enforcers, darkweavers, and legionnaires. Kill them all!
Be careful.
The Jade Fire Satyr that have overrun so much of Felwood apparently work directly with the Shadow Council. Well, there's our answer, Hylisk. Sure I can, DJ Snap, but I already have. But you want me to repeat it. So the long and the short of it is, Blackwing Lair is the culmination of the largest story arc that goes throughout all of Vanilla and culminates in Nefarian using his experiments to try and combine the powers of all the dragonflights into one massive creature and actually use that as kind of an uber super weapon, which he failed at repeatedly, pretty much right up until he actually succeeded, and then we go and kill him before he could actually enact it. That was Chromatus, was the creature that he succeeded at.
Goddess, watch over you.
So I guess that answers.
May the
Also,
stars
Zeiss, you're a demon, just so you know. Yeah, I'm just giving you guys a spoiler. Zeiss in Primus is actually a demon. It explains a lot, really, when you actually think about it. He's a Nethrezim who's been sent to corrupt Primus. I don't recall one. Is it one? You can play vanilla WoW by getting on a private server, basically. Yeah, Nostalgia Rius, or however you're supposed to actually pronounce that, is a good example of that. Goodbye. The demons begin to fall. Take heed, you'll find even stronger foes within. Yes, I have, Nothrazim. Mura and Salia are the personal servants of the Shadow Lord Felden. Do not be deceived by them. These foul succubi use their wiles and foul magic to draw mortals into the Shadow Hold. Those in their grasp undergo brainwashing or are sacrificed to their demonic masters. There's a lot of candles in here. I like Nostalgius better, because that's obviously what they're going for. Yeah, I just saw it, WKC. I will read it in more detail later. Or, well, I guess that's a lie, because I've already read it. I read pretty fast. I will respond to it later. How's that sound? You can still go to Blackwing Lair, yeah. I did it on stream, actually. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna be nice. So, why don't we talk about the Emerald Circle while I'm waiting here? Now, you might be like, what the hell is the Emerald Circle? Or maybe if you, think I'm just mispronouncing, I think I'm supposed to say Cenarian Circle. Well, you remember how I mentioned many times how the Cenarian Circle has become a political entity, especially in the absence of Malfurion. So, the Cenarian Circle, we've already seen one of their branches. That would be the Cenarian Expedition, the group they sent to Outland, who eventually was like, you know what, screw all this crap. I've already talked about them extensively, I'm not going to repeat myself there. The Emerald Circle is kind of similar, without really intending to be. Basically, what happened was the Emerald Circle was originally just a specific group of the most elite druids that they sent here. It was basically the best and the brightest that the Circle had to offer, and they sent them to Felwood to reclaim Felwood. That group of people sat here and realized very quickly this was going to be a very serious issue, and it became a hassle for them to continue dealing with the chain of command back with the rest of the Cenarian Circle. And so over time, they just kind of drifted away and drifted away and drifted away until it got to the point where the Emerald Circle, which they were now calling themselves, was an actually fully autonomous entity from the Cenarian Circle. And for the same basic reasons as the Cenarian Expedition, a.k.a. they wanted to have nothing to do with any of the political claptrap, they were just here to fix the Felwood. The interesting difference, though, here is the expedition was centered around fixing an entire continent which is drifting in the nether. And yet they have similar, if not worse, of a chance of actually making things worse. Yes, the chat plugin's finally fixed, by the way. I'm glad you're liking him, Ricky. Was that me or was that Deutsch? I guess it doesn't matter. Hey, Raskor. So the whole expedition was designed to save an entire continent floating in the nether. The Emerald Circle was devoted to saving one section of the woods, which has been fell corrupted. Just one. I love that because A, it emphasizes just how bad the corruption actually is here in the Felwood. Oh, okay, I thought so, Ricky. And B, it's so logical for them to be like, okay, we need to fix this. And they became so focused on this difficult task that they just kind of separated from the rest of the circle. It's like, okay, no, we have to focus on fixing this place. Well, what about politics? Screw politics, we have to fix this place. You know, that kind of a thing. Respawns are slow. Respawns are slow. Boop ba doop ba doop ba doo. Respawns are slow. There are non-druids here who are assisting. The woman we saw was actually one of the... I'm going to switch to the other level 1 characters and start doing Eastern Kingdoms, Gemkey. That was an Arcanist, Night Elf Arcanist, who was specifically one of... Oh, God, my neck. One of the Highborn. Either one of the ones who had been practicing magic in secret, or one of the ex-Chandrilar. What about politics? But yes, there is both good and bad that comes from a non-political organization. The obvious good is they can focus on the task at hand and, you know, not give a damn about anything else going on. So, the bad's a little more subtle. The most obvious bad is they don't get the backing that the Circle actually get. Yeah, I still haven't actually popped this. Hey, there they are. All right, do not worry. I will not be tempted by these demons. Wait. There. Oh my God, they've prepared a spread. There's mead and pastries and... Oh, yes. Oh, I'll do anything you ask. Please, just let me sample. Oh God, there's roast boar. And there's... Oh, wait, no, I must fight it. I must fight it. Oh, I will not be tempted. I will not be tempted. Resisted the succubi. Okay. Okay. Shadow Lord Felden awaits further in the depths. His wrath will be unmatched now that you've slain his beloved pets. Even without Mora and Sali at his side, he is a terrible force. Damn it, WKC. I said... That cake was amazing, yes. As ever, when a large donation comes in, I give you the option of me refunding it to you, WKC, if you'd like me to. As I pointed out, I don't generate a lot of content for you specifically, so I would understand that. For a bit of explanation, anybody who's watched my show for a while knows that I do quite a few different things. I look at Babylon 5, I look at Star Trek Voyager, I do a roleplay series, I do a D&D series, and I do my ruminations, and I do my streams. One thing I had to kind of realize over time, and this actually took me a while to really understand this concept, is the fact that despite the fact that I am working my ass off pushing out six different things every day, or every week, excuse me, by the viewpoint of someone who only cares about my D&D stuff, I'm pushing out one thing a week, you know? By the viewpoint of someone who only cares about my ruminations, I only push out one thing a week. So it doesn't matter that I'm, constantly pushing myself and working my ass off. What matters is that the person who only cares about my one feature only sees one thing happen every week. So, yeah, it's understandable that people would not want to support me when I'm only producing one thing a week for them. I get that. So, knocking you? You probably mean mocking. No, I'm not mocking, dude. I do get it. I get, that concept. Down he goes. Only one final power remains in the depths of Shadowhold. Lord Banehollow. The Shadow Counselor serves his whims, and even Felden was a mere instrument to prepare for another invasion of the Burning Legion. Yeah, WKC, I'm seeing some emails come in there about that. Well, if you don't want me to refund it, first of all, allow me to say thank you very much for the donation and for allowing me to continue doing my job. I appreciate it greatly. Second, would you like to put it towards any of our incentives over here? Might I suggest the normal suit? So as we can see, this is Lord Banehollow. AKA the only Netherzeem so irrelevant that even though he has a name, he might as well not. He is, as you can see, summoning demons from beyond the portal. Oh no! Pathetic mortal! Take a drink. I will build a new empire atop your corpse. Hang on, let me stretch while I'm killing this guy. Ah, yeah. There we go. There we go. Is he dead yet? Ah, this is my domain. Yeah, he's super dead. Don't do it, Deutsch. Don't turn against me. Don't make me destroy you. His army of demons is unmatched, Raskar. Yep, he's definitely going to conquer the world with his volleyball team of demons. What, the cockroaches? Oh, God damn it. So this is kind of irritating. I really need to kill 4 more regular demons because that frickin' Death Knight, hashtag other players, was going through here before me and preventing this from, you know, just, yeah. And the respawn was terrible. The bosses actually respawn faster than the trash. How weird is that? Yeah, the roaches and rats, excuse me. Anything down here? Oh, there's someone. Damn it. One more. One more. It's all I need. Why don't you respawn faster? Why? Ah, there. Yes. Kill the gnome. Kill the gnome. And then another one respawns, of course. Whatever. Let's not even think about that, Deutsch. Let's just stay in the peaceful, wonderful, non-bug riddled place of Silithus. Honestly, I do think it is a byproduct of wielding fell magic. To quote, actually, you know what? Hang on, let me actually look it up just for you. Shoot, what's his name? So if I could quote someone here.
Yes, I am a god!
So that's kind of how people tend to react when they're using fell magic in general. I once heard arcane magic described as wonderfully sweet and incredibly addictive using arcane magic, right? Fell magic was then described as the purest of ecstasies, even on top of that, like even more than that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Imagine you're suddenly wielding this power that it literally feels amazing to be pushing this fell energy through you. And just, oh, God, you feel more alive than you've ever felt in your entire life. And everything's amazing. Yes, power. The power. You actually feel like you can do a tremendous amount when you are wielding fell power like that. It takes an incredibly disciplined mind to be able to wield fell magic without delving into the side of things. So I think that is the genuine in-character reason why so many creatures who wield fell power have that problem. I suppose, Ricky? I don't actually know what those feel like, personally. Yeah. Where's
Where's the thing? Damn it. WKC, you haven't told me where you want to put it yet, by the way. Because I know where Zeiss is putting it. Zeiss is putting it right here. Thank you, Zeiss, for the donation. I swear I'll have time to GM again in the future. Hopefully, maybe, kind of. We have donation incentives, WKC. So you can put your 100 towards one of these. You should put it towards the smaller one. You don't have to. You can put it wherever. For those not aware, I actually did a little work to make the rainbow suit look even worse than before. So, yeah, anyways. The cleansing of Shadowhold will take much time and effort, but without your defeat of the Shadow Council, it would not be possible at all. Thank you.
Be careful.
Lore Runner's choice. Excellent. We'll put it right there.
How may I aid you?
Of course, that won't matter for like another few weeks, or not weeks, days, until we get through with Eastern Kingdoms, because I can't do transmog on these characters. Really wish Legion was out already. Anyways, okay, so yes, we did it. We defeated the Shadow Council. To journey within the very lair of evil and slay every fiend that stands before you, I am overwhelmed. The Emerald Circle thanks you for your work here in Felwood. As for Andalar, we will send scouts to rescue him at once. He shall have a hero's welcome.
Goddess, watch over you.
Type in !uptime, Mind Blast. Or Deutsch can do it. While we deal with the Jadenar, I sent a friend of mine north to Bloodvenom Post. We used to have frequent visits from the Tauren there, but they stopped coming as of late. My friend Kelnir Leafsong has yet to return.
Good luck, friend.
Oh yeah, sure. Hang on, if you give me a moment. I could show you the slut suit really easily because we actually have it on right now. Hi, Mind Blast. Where you been? No, you already answered. So this is the slut suit right here. It's the one she actually has on as of this moment. This is also the slut suit, believe it or not. The Alliance. No, maybe. I'm not sure where the transmog guy is on Alliance. Ah, okay, I totally went the wrong way. This music is very strangely appropriate for what's about to happen. The Crayola suit, or Skittles suit, if you prefer. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's this one up here in the upper left. This is the Skittles suit, as you can see right here. I haven't even bothered buying the normal suit yet because no one's been donating for it. But the normal suit would look something. Give me just a moment. Did I pass it? I think I passed it. Even though I should see it. Where the heck? Hang on, hang on. Give me a moment. Is that it? No. There it is. It's one of the. I think it's that one. That's the one. That doesn't look right. What's the name of Tier 10 Death Knight? Oops, oops. Let's clear that filter. Oh, here it is. Scourge Lord. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. Okay, here we go. We found it. We found it. So this would be... Well, if you'll give me a moment, I will put it together here. That should be roughly it. Yeah. This is what the normal suit will look like for our Worgen. No, this is just where my Death Knight was. And yes, Scourge Lord was the one. Consequently... Ah! Hi. If I could find the other one. You know what? Whatever. Hey, the Lich King Assassins is looking for a group. Why would I join my own assassins? Helm. Is that it? No. Like I said, I haven't even bought this gear yet because it's just not been donated for. Why is it not showing that? Oh, that's why. That's why. I'm stupid. There we go. Lightsworn. This, roughly, would be the normal suit on the other character. To give a relative approximation of what the normal suits. So, hopefully that answers everyone's questions. I'm never doing this again. Okay, now to go do this really quick. What am I doing? What am I doing? Back to you. Where's that terrible... I mean, the slut suit. There we go. Okay. Totally lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about? I talked about the Emerald Circle. I talked about how stupid the Shadow Council is. By the way, we have effectively defeated the Shadow Council as of that. They are ceasing to be a power. I wouldn't be surprised if they show up in Legion in some fashion, but the Shadow Council, as they are here, have been removed from power. Oh, that was the other thing. Someone in chat mentioned it. But the other major reason... why the Fel Energy is so, oh, I can do anything, is because if you remember, Fel Energy is exactly like that. Fel Energy is incredibly powerful, especially if you know how to wield it properly. So, in many ways, it really is kind of a, oh, I can do anything kind of a situation. That's not actually that much of an exaggeration, really. Fel power is incredibly powerful. It just comes at tremendous cost. And natural demons can basically bypass that cost. And artificial demons can have a way to get around that cost. All they need is people to eat. Or rather, the Fel Energy eats them is more accurate.
The only answer I could give for that, Dakoita, is that it is a neutral thing regardless of comparison, if that makes any sense. Which I know some people argue is not a thing, so I can't give anything more definitive than that.
Hi!
Hi! Fairy send you? I'm so happy he remembered. Bloodvenom Post is all overrun with awful slime things, and this poor Taran's the only one left. We've got to help him. Okay.
Looking for something special?
This all started with Winna Hazard. She was a forsaken apothecary at the Bloodvenom Post, researching ways to use demonic ooze here against the Alliance. We warned her she was going too far, but she didn't listen, and we did not act fast enough. Now her and everyone at the Bloodvenom Post are nothing more than mindless creatures. The disgusting oozes she uses for this still roam near the pools to the east and south. I beg you, monk, destroy them so that others cannot commit such evil.
Go in peace.
What is nature's call?
Oh, this poor fellow barely escaped Bloodvenom Post with his life. If we're going to keep him from turning into a slime creature like all the others, we've got to treat the infection. Mushrooms like to grow near the bright green waters around here, like the pond to the east of here. Most of them are no good. I need you to really get the really bright green glowing ones. If you have those, I'll be able to stir up something to help this poor Taran. It don't take too long now. So, I actually am not sure what would happen to a Dryad if it was fel-infused. To my knowledge, we've never actually seen that. We've seen Dryads who are corrupted, but that was literally corrupted by poison and toxins. You know, their surrounding areas corrupted. We've also seen Dryads, Actually, I'm not sure we've ever seen a Dryad that is undead to this point. Although I would imagine that is something that's possible, at least for someone who is a master of undeath. So I have no idea what a fel Dryad would be like. Considering how destructive anyone using fel tend to be, I can just imagine her being really, really destructive while maintaining her cheerful demeanor, you know? Oh gosh, it would be really wonderful if you would go slaughter all of those innocent people down there. And do me a really big favor. It would mean so much to me if you'd crush their skulls like the puny little specks that they are. Thanks! You know, that kind of a thing. Well, yeah, the Dryads in Maraudon are an example of corrupted Dryads. In fact, I think they're actually the only example we really see is the ones who have been distorted by the toxins and by the poison of that area. At least I think so. Blood and death. I gotta be honest, that fairy dragon in Here's the Storm, I don't even remember his name, is just terrifying. Was it a her? I don't even know. I don't want to know. Just, yeah. Swimming through fel ooze. Okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, but who's Hyperkid? Larxene! Oh, there we go. I'm sold. Get the same voice actress who played her in the English Chain of Memories. And I'm sold. You know, I gotta admit, one thing I find curious is, so... Oh, he's fine, Dakoita. This is a wonderful place to vacation.
What brings you here?
My rage quells at the news. Maybe I will find it easier to rest and heal now. Maybe my stomach will settle as well.
Goodbye.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Remember, it's only the bright green glowing ones. Most people think the green glow is demonic corruption, but if you've got an eye for shade and hues like me, you can tell it's the energies of the Emerald Dream, which are surprisingly similar. Along with the energies... So we've got the energies of death, the plague look, the energies of fel, the most corruptive, destructive force we know of, and the energies of the Emerald Dream, which is natural life magic, all look fairly similar to each other. Anyways, these little guys aren't being corrupted by the waters. They're doing their best to purify it. Now we'll mash them up and make a nice yummy paste for Mr. Taran to eat and feel all better.
Is there trouble?
Open wide, Mr. Taran. Here comes the hippogriff into the roost. Vomits over everything. Yeah, you notice I moved out of the way there in preparation.
Hi.
Mr. Taran here's told me a lot about what happened at Bloodvenom Post. He says Winna Hazard is still there. She's pretty far gone, but what's left of her is trying to make a bunch of new slime. We've got to stop it. Luckily, I have a plan. Mr. Taran said Winna used to have a kitten. She fed at the corrupted slime water. It ran off into the woods. I saw someone lurking to the southeast, but it was bigger than a kitten. Go see if the kitten has a tag. That's actually an interesting parallel, Last Exile. All sand looks like all other sand. Well, with some exceptions. Behold, slime slaves. Hey, what's up? So who did this zone in vanilla? I suppose I should raise my hand on that one. Well, they're not head crabs. They're slime now. Like, there's no head there, actually. It's just the slime.
Is there trouble?
Did you find the kitten? Oh, poor little kitty, suffering out there in the woods for so long. Did a good thing for it. And probably all the travelers it's been eating. This tag will be handy. Winna's hooked into the source of the slime itself, the very back of Bloodvenom Post. Should make sure it keeps flowing and it keeps her safe. But if you can get her attention... if there's even a little tiny bit of her left, maybe it'll get through to her. Maybe her regret for her poor lost kitty will come to the surface, and she'll feel sorry just one more time, and come out of the slime. And then we can kill her, and stop the slime! Yay!
Well met.
See you around, Myron. I hate you. Could you please... excuse me, I'm a little... my stomach. For going to Bloodvenom Post, could you please just put what's left of our friends out of my misery right now? Come for your own good. Vomit, vomit, vomit. I have to be completely honest. This quest kind of made me tear up a little bit. Well, he has a lot of ooze to get out of him, so yeah. Bloodvenom Post was a horde outpost back in vanilla. There wasn't actually a lot to do here story-wise, even in the Fellwood. It was mostly about just trying to stop the corruption and blah 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 blah. But the horde post specifically, because sushi's awesome, Myron. Hope you enjoy. There was a forsaken apothecary named Winna Hazard, who was present at Bloodvenom Post, and she was doing experiments with the fell slime. She actually believed it had similarities to the Necrotech, the plague slime, that they used back in the day, which was Tuesday. They really believed that there were similarities between it and the slime, and she thought maybe they could use it, maybe they could manipulate it as a weapon or as something they could control. And she got really... well, let's just say she was extremely successful. As you can see, she is literally just in a pit of ooze now. And she herself is literally more ooze than person at this point in time. In fact, if you can kind of tell, she has ooze shoulder pads right now. However, one really horrible thing was she was never really what I would call an evil person. She was just trying to, she was just trying to research it, and it kind of took her over. Now, the reason that's relevant is when we show her the earring. Kitty. Kitty, I'm so sorry, Kitty. Come back. Don't leave me like this! Yeah, you get the very strong impression she does not enjoy her current status of existence. Honestly, what I would call that is Fell Blight. Not quite undeath, not quite there, but similar purpose. Because it completely consumed her and everyone else at the post. And as we could tell, she wasn't a willing host, if you know what I mean. She was also probably more susceptible to it than the others there because she was undead. It's kind of easier for ooze to get in and influence and affect you when you're a rotting corpse.
Peace, friend.
Thank you, monk. I'm feeling much better now, and can appreciate the news that the abominations are gone.
Ancestors watch over you.
What is nature's call?
Hooray! The forest will be safer now. You're such a hero, with everything you've done for me and Mr. Taran and the trees and the animals and the flowers. You deserve a reward. Yay!
Ah, the great outdoors.
You've been such a big help here. I'm gonna stay here and look after Mr. Taran until he stops throwing up so much. Why don't you head north to the Whisperwind Grove? It's really pretty there. All the druids are so friendly. You should tell Miss Puregrove I'm okay. She'll worry if I'm gone too long. She might ask you to help with her flowers, too. It's so much fun. They're not undead, they're life-challenged. My bad. Plug-in still works. This is Fellwood. Call me Fives. Which we are well on our way to being done with. No, that's over in Hillsbrad. Of course you know that, Takoida. So we can tell that they have had a little bit of reclamation over here, but it's, if I were to argue, it's not fully the result of the druids. As you can see, the terrain here is about half reclaimed, half not. This is actually a really nice visual effect with the rotting ground kind of mixing with the cleansed ground. So you can kind of see how it's just sort of slowly reclaiming the area. There was actually a quest back in Vanilla that was entirely centered around getting the aid of one of the Ancients who was still here. And getting, in fact, it was one of those guys over there. And getting their blessing in order to try and help reclaim the ground. There was also the longest escort in the entire game here. And remember that escort? For reference, it was an escort from here to Ashen Vale. All the way down here. I'm serious, it was the longest escort in the game. And it was crazy. Anywho. But yeah, there was a quest that was like, we must help reclaim this area. So they managed to get a Moonwell functioning, and they managed to get some actual living trees here. And they have a fairly large amount of Ancients here trying to help keep the area safe. Because, duh, really.
I am honored.
Kelnir? Sometimes I wonder if her chatter drove all the other dryads away. But I'm glad she's safe. Welcome to Whisperwind Grove, monk. Hold peace in your heart, and you will find a home here. Oh, do not worry, I am very peaceful. I just killed a woman who was desperate... I'm gonna stop.
Goddess, watch over you.
I'd love to save every creature in the forest, but as you've probably seen, some are just too far gone. When we first founded Whisperwind Grove, the woods just to the south were full of beautiful coursers, majestic and gentle creatures. The corruption here hasn't made them violent, but they've wasted away to nearly nothing. Even if they were cleansed, they would know only pain and suffering. Please put them down for me.
Del Nadris.
The larger animals are often too corrupted to save, but you'd be surprised how hardy the little ones are. Take the squirrels, for example. After washing in corrupted water, they can spread illness far from the original source, but it's slow to affect the squirrels themselves. In fact, a simple washing will result in a clean squirrel and a safer forest. Take this bottle of cleansing mixture. Grab any squirrel you can find and scrub them, and they'll be thankful for it.
Farewell.
Yeah, I remember the Tannerus one. Oh my god. So a moonwell, to summarize very, 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 very briefly, since I've actually already talked about moonwells. A moonwell is a specific, ritualistically carved arcane creation, which draws together all the water and then imbues it with direct arcane power. And that power is how night elves can function, basically. They can literally eat, or I suppose drink in this case, the Moonwell waters in order to sustain themselves, give them energy, replenish their magic source, you know, that kind of a thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to keep the music off in this zone for a little bit.
Hello.
Though we druids shun the demonic powers infesting this land, it must still be confronted. Shatterscar Vale to the south seethes with corruption. The energies there are so chaotic that they manifest as violent entities, pure fell magic given form to lash out at all light. I've been keeping a close eye on these chaotic beasts and studying their strengths. I need to make sure they are still weakening with time. Bring me the essences they drop so I may ensure that they are diminishing.
Good luck, friend.
The infernals that lurk in the Shatterscar Vale are formidable, but not invincible. Much progress has been made in thinning their numbers. Destroying them is only part of the solution, however. I've found that the stone the infernals are made of still contains a large amount of fell magic even after their death. The rubble of the slain infernals now litters the Shatterscar Vale, leaching its corruption into the ground. If you could collect it and bring it to me, I'd be quite grateful.
Be careful.
What brings you here?
The first demons to set foot in this forest were infernals. Long ago, these powerful beings of stone and foul fire came from the sky to take this land for the Burning Legion. The charred craters of Shatterscar Vale to the south are where these infernals landed, and many still wander there. They are fierce foes, and killing them is a worthy challenge and a noble cause.
Be careful.
The most feared, fearsome demon in Shatterscar Vale is known as Crotius, though many have hunted him over the years. Destruction has only made him stronger. Time after time, warlocks have come to this forest and reanimated Crotius. He now lurks in the southeast, surrounded by demonic fire, awaiting any who come to try and claim his power. I will not have this corrupt cycle continue. Kill him, and bring his core to me.
Go in peace.
And there you can have your terrible music back. But now... Okay. Yeah, I have to admit, I really don't like this song. It's not even music. It's just the horns. And then nothing. And then horns! And then nothing. And then horns! And then nothing. And then horns! Oh my god, it's terrible. So, like, if I don't mind some, you know, atmospheric music. But this is literally it. You're hearing the music for this zone. Long pause. Long pause. It's, yeah, not my thing. This was a music that played for a lot of the undead zones back in vanilla. And despite the fact that I rather enjoyed several of those said undead zones, I tended to play with the music off in those zones as a resultant. This is pretty much the Plaguelands theme song, too. Probably Deutsch. We'll see. I do feel bad for these creatures here. Like, a lot. Because, I mean, this is just so typical. Fell corruption usually turns things more violent and horrible, but it also kind of, as we know, eats away at you. Literally, I mean, look at that. Their ribs and innards are actually showing, and most of their face is gone. Yeah, I wouldn't eat this meat either. Blech. Because, again, you know, fell. One thing I have noticed is not all fell corruption actually is linear. For example, most things that are fell corrupted, but not actually using the fell energies, are just, you know, a rotting, diseased version of themselves. But then there's some things that are, you know, fully fell infused, but don't rot away, even though they actually should. And in some other cases, you look at, you know, like well, this wolf was actually a good example. This is another good example of something fell corrupted. Again, literally innards showing there. And of course, then there's the creature I'm flying on right now, which is on fire, as I mentioned earlier. And yet, you'd think that... So the idea here is that the reason this creature can survive at all is because it's not actually using the fell power that is coursing through it, right? So it's not actually burning its own life energy out to exist. And yet, it seems far less corrupted than these creatures. So I find myself wondering what the difference is between the two. Unless it's a matter of the source. Yes, green flame. If anyone would like to follow through on that one, you're welcome to. Green flame. I'll say it one more time. Yeah, by the way, fell elementals are a thing. Yeah, it does, Dakota. I'd say or vice versa, but West Plagues and East Plagues were way better designed in this place. And were finished before this place, so yeah, it's probably the other way around. Holy crap. He actually dropped... no, WoW is not free. It's only free to try for the first 20 levels. He actually dropped Fellcloth. Who remembers farming the satyrs for Fellcloth back in the day to get Mooncloth? Because I do. But yes, I do have a Greenfire Wormlock. Or Warlock. I'd show it off, but I mean, yeah. Okay. Anyways. Now, Fell Elementals are actually really easy to explain. Fell Elementals are any given elemental spirit. Remember, all elementals are actually spirit life. And that spirit has been completely and utterly replaced with whatever it originally was. Fire, earth, water, wind, doesn't matter. It has been replaced with Fell energy. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds really kind of horrific, actually. Because... yeah. So you notice there's players running around here. Well, I'll go ahead and explain why they're running around really quick. If I can find it. There it is. This is why they're running around, right here. I'm not going to summon it. But yeah, this is the Mini Fernal, which, aside from being cool looking, is actually a really nice pet. The only reason I haven't started using it myself is it's magic type, and I've already got too many magic types. But, yeah. Fun story, I got that completely by accident. I was here farming it for, I don't know, 3 weeks, something like that. And it was always camped, and it was never there, and I basically gave up. So one day, so I left my character logged out here, obviously, so I could keep checking. I logged on my character one day, and I just start leaving. And I noticed that there was a mini Infernal, like, right over the hill, and I'm just staring at it like, holy crap, there's one right there. Rushed over, grabbed it, and, yeah. Right when I had literally given up on it, and was actually leaving the zone to never farm it again, is when I finally got one. Which is funny, because it feels like that's a trend for me. The moment you give up, that's when you finally succeed. Hey, Nether. You know, I'm not sure, Stars. It could be that its composition has been so fundamentally changed that it would consider its home plane to be the Twisting Nether, and therefore it's just trapped there basically forever. On the other hand, it is possible that with the spirit released from the fell energy of it, the spirit would go back to where it belongs. The answer is I don't know, Stars. I'm not sure. Yeah, pretty much Mind Blast. Alright, let's just try this boss. Oh god, wipe. Oh, we got it. You know the wipes I hate most? The 1% wipes. Who's with me on that? 1% wipes are the worst. Hate 1% wipes. Oh, screw that baby gorilla. Which I also don't think I have. Yeah, I don't think I have the gorilla. Unless it's called something else.
Ishnu Allah.
Yeah, pretty much, Mind Blast. Thank you, Ironman. They won't spread the corruption any further.
God
And they won't be in pain either.
you.
Aren't they just adorable? It's the little victories that keep me going. We're gonna save this forest one squirrel at a time. Hey, Permeus. In a place like this, even something as simple as growing flowers and pulling weeds requires heroic effort. The orchid lashers that grow on all sides of the grove are a sign of healing, but they're not flawless. Some of them do succumb to demonic corruption now and again. I've found the best way to check is to just pull them up. If they're normal, they'll wander around and reroute. If they aren't, well, then you'll have to kill them.
Be careful.
Okay, apparently it's baby. Oh, I do have it. Holy crap. When did I get that one? Damn. Eh. I do not have baby Winston, however. And I probably never will.
Peace, friend.
I thank you for hunting in my stead, monk. I've found I must pace myself. Finding too much thrill in hunting demons is a dangerous path.
Goodbye. How may I aid you?
The foul chunks of what those warlocks sought year after year. I will protect it myself or destroy it if possible.
Be careful.
In other words, if you're kind of missing it. So there used to be quests for warlock. Quite a few, actually. But the big one was there was this whole quest chain you could do to gain an infernal summon. And a Doomguard summon too. Excuse me, on attack. And you had to gain the core of the big abyssal that we just killed in order to be able to summon it. And so in lore, what we just did is we took the core away from it, so Warlock would stop going after him to try and learn how to summon infernals.
Elun Adore.
Be wary with the poisonous essence. I can tell just from the size of these that the fell taint is healing slowly, but significantly. Thank you.
Asha Fela.
Be sure to pick up after your own kills as well. Oh, it's good to see someone who cares about keeping the forest clean. Thank you.
Farewell.
You're welcome. Really, Permeus? That's kind of odd. Elun Adore, as in, it depends on how you interpret it, but basically, the love of Elune, or I feel the love of Elune, or Elune loves you. The Elven in Warcraft is not a properly designed language, so it doesn't really have verb and grammar rules like most languages do. They just kind of throw the words together, and you can interpret the definition from there. You know, it's actually a little funny, because there exists an entire method of creating fictional languages nowadays. There's a whole thing for that. And yet, Warcraft, which is a huge setting with multiple fictional languages, has never bothered to actually hire someone to set up their languages as real languages. I just find that interesting. Hell, I'm even trying to set up my own personal language for Imperial.
What brings you here?
Similar, Ricky, yes. Although, not on purpose. It's hard work, but it's so rewarding when you see them growing up big and strong. When they're not covered with demonic thorns, that is.
Good luck, friend.
Well, I don't like demonic thorns. Or do I? Find out more at 11.
Hello, Del Nadris.
I'm gonna grab these quests really quick here.
What brings you here?
Really? Since reclaiming Jadefire Run from the Satyr, the Emerald Circle has sent many druids to begin the long task of cleansing the ruins. Last night, several of them were murdered by a night elf. Witnesses say it was a demon hunter, a crazed disciple of Illidan, a rare sight. No doubt he's gone mad with power, just like his master. I'll pay top bounty for proof of his demise. He's been spotted just off the road to the north. However, he's not there right now, for some reason. I'm actually not sure why that is. Oh well. We'll do the other quest while we wait for that player to not be in my way. The ancient protectors of the Iron Tree Woods to the north. You're looking at it easy. Have been dead for years. Their bodies a grim symbol of the damage to this land. Every season we take the water from this moonwell, damn it, and pour it over the ground, hoping it will nurture life anew. If you'd like, you can deliver the water yourself. It is an excellent opportunity for reflection. Take this vial and fill it at the moonwell, which you kind of forgot to do. Pour it on top of the small hill between the three ancients. Illidan is the original demon hunter. He was the very, very first one. He also kind of invented demon hunting. Because, see, the thing is, Illidan was originally granted demonic power. He was actually infused with it by Sargeras. He then, by himself, on his own, I want to stress this, invented the very concept of demon hunting and all the abilities and skills and power they use, and the particular way they twist fell magic in order to service their ends against demons. It is incredibly difficult to do, and you're more likely to fail than succeed. It's why so many demon hunters in training actually die during the training, because it's just that horrifying. Now, this is also kind of a weird situation, because this means in lore, every demon hunter you see, and I mean all of them, was one that was trained by Illidan personally. And, I shouldn't say personally, that's the wrong way to put it. All training of demon hunters goes back to Illidan himself. He was starting to get some of his own demon hunters to train a new generation of demon hunters in Black Temple. So it's possible the demon hunters we play as are not personally were not personally trained, excuse me, by Illidan. We were trained by his immediate lieutenants. But the point is, demon hunters are easily the most rare class in the entire setting because of how difficult it is to even come by the information. It's not like you can independently become a demon hunter like you can, for example, a paladin or a priest or whatever. Horns! The moonwell water quickly seeps into the ground with a soft glow. A few moments later, a rustling noise is heard, and a small sprout pops up before your eyes. Soil. Huh? The tiny seedling opens its leaves wide like a baby bird waiting to be fed. It speaks in a very faint voice. Hunger. Want. Bugs. You know what? I'm sick of the music in this zone. Hang on a second. I have WoW Music on my iTunes. I'm just going to pull something better up. Sure. This should be fine. Okay. Tell me if it's too loud. Not that it can be worse than that other frickin' bomb. 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 How's that? Whoever guesses what it's from gets a muffin point. Or guesses the specific song. It is Chrono Trigger, that is correct. Yeah, I actually have a playlist for zones like this. I actually have an entire subcategory of playlists on iTunes for MMOs. Remember how I mentioned, It'll Be Fine, this is a remix of one. So the audio tracker won't catch it. I mentioned how in basically every other MMO ever, I don't listen to the music of the actual game. Well, I needed some kind of music to listen to. And most MMOs tend to be thematic, in the sense that, you know, there's forest zones, and there's doom zones, and there's fire zones. You know, there's always that kind of a thing going. So I just made different playlists for castle areas, caves, cold or frozen areas. This particular playlist we're listening to now is actually called Dead. Then there's desert, forest, fortress, major dungeons. I actually call it last dungeons. Lava areas, I already mentioned that. Mountainous areas, overworlds, peaceful, ruins, space, technology, towers, towns, traveling, and water. And those are the different playlists I use for when I'm playing MMOs, where I don't enjoy the music of the area, or the MMO. Also, you notice how it's literally just sapping, like let's get this little vine pops out of this thing to eat them. Notice how it's already bigger, by the way. It started off smaller than my foot, and now it's coming up to my waist. I have done a rumination of Chrono Trigger. I never did an in-depth review of it, no. Wait, no, I did. I totally did an in-depth review of Chrono Trigger. What am I saying? Water? I could play water really quick, just to give you an idea what it's in there. Hang on. That's the 8-bit side. I've got 8-bit and everything else. Here's a good example of a water song. The seedling pats its stalks with a gooey arm as if full. I have a lot of Mega Man music. In fact, I have all of it. I have gotten, by the way, since those videos have gone live to YouTube, I have actually gotten a fairly large amount of positive feedback about the in-depth reviews, so I do intend to continue them. Still not sure which game I want to do next. I'm torn between Final Fantasy IX and Super Mario RPG. I think I do. Hang on. I do not have Bonkers. Oh, it's a Timeless Isle, that's why. Yeah, I gave up on all of those. But yeah, there's a lot of this kind of music. You know, water music, in other words. But, you know, I hear that Warcraft music's pretty cool. I actually have a playlist called War. And, let's see if we can find a song appropriate for Zoan Joker. Here we go, perfect. There we go. This is just for you, Zoan. Grow big! Wow, he's an ent now. Check it out. growing so much bigger. It's time to shine. Time to spread our leaves to the sun. Take me to the sun. The sun is far away, but its light comes to us. Its light makes us big and strong again. The light comes down the big branches to the little ones like ours. Over there! The sun comes with us to the north. Take us with you to the dance! Okay, we can do that. There's so many other spirits trapped in rotting bodies here. Do you see? Do you see the iron tree stompers in the north? They're sick with demon stuff and icky with mold. Poor spirits inside them can't get out. You can help. Chop them down and the spirits can get out. I'll put the spirits in me and we can be happy together when we grow up. Will you help, please? Wow, this is kind of insidious, but okay, sure. And yes, this is the music for the Horde! This music was also a big reason why I was so fond of playing the Horde in Warcraft 2. I love the Orc songs in Warcraft 2. But they're not the only songs I like in Warcraft 2. Just for you, Zoan. Awesome, Mind Blessed. I think you have mentioned that to me, but I'm still happy about it. Wow, this guy is actually bigger than I am now. Look at this. It's kind of crazy. Sun. Well, if it's down, if it's down right now, it doesn't matter. I won't be going to Pandaria for like another week or so. I have no idea, Zoan. You know what this song is called? Castles and Fortresses. That's what this song is called. You're gonna have to give me a song name. Yeah, he's getting stronger and bigger, actually. So happy. Can you hear us? We're so many friends now. Bigger and bigger with room for each friend. So let's see. What would be Human 3? I mean, literally, I have song titles, so Human 3 doesn't help me at all. Maybe this one? I'm just going to assume. This is called Ivory Towers. So warm and fresh and full of life. We love the sun. It makes us stronger. Praise the sun! Soon now. Very soon is the time of growing. He's twice my size now, by the way. Thank you, little Pandaren. I and others have tried so many times to grow within this forest without success. The withered protector that lurks to the north is the only ancient to have grown to maturity since the ruining of the forest. But his body is sick and his mind is mad. Just as we gathered the spirits of the Treants, I would save those that dwell in him rather than leave him behind. Defeat him and let his spirits join with me. Yes, I will consume all the spirits of the forest. I don't know, Dakota. I would like to think that this is the forest finally starting to grow again. Because remember, now there's arcane mages here. Remember? We've already done that, so that's helped. We're here to help. This is actually the second time a player character has come to help Felwood, and the Druids have been working on this for 8 years. So I'm really hoping that this is finally us actually accomplishing something here. But I don't know. We'll see. Oops, I'm going the wrong frickin' way. It's over here. Welcome back, Lilu, to the Felwood. And to a ailing back that hurts more than it really should. Oh, God. Oh, no, don't let Lilu test it out. No. Lilu, run. Run. Oh, my God, that hurts so much. Wow. Okay. So where's Aria's death to the dude? Oh God, you see all those spirits it just consumed. Wow, that was like a bit too much. Yes, it is time. It is time to say goodbye now. You've raised... No! Why would you do that? No. Poor Lilu. Come back, Lilu. Come back. He's in Indiana, Dakota. Which kind of sucks, because he was actually a good chiropractor. You know how rare it is to find a good chiropractor and not a quack? Anyways, it is time for me to say goodbye now. You have raised me from a seedling. Brief though it was, but now I must rejoin the forest. Take me back to the hill you found me on. There I will set my roots and grow in the shadow of ancients that came before me. Well, most chiropractors are charlatans, to put it as nicely as I possibly could. And I mean that sincerely. Most chiropractors are flat-out charlatans. It is rare to find someone who actually understands the craft and the medical science behind it. Someday I will spread my branches across a renewed forest, full of life and hope. Farewell, Iron Man. Have patience. And if you live long, you may see me again one day. I would love to see this guy again in the future somehow. Hey, ding! Oh, I totally want to ding with this guy. Oh, where is it? Quick, quick, quick. No, with my friend, the Ancient Protector. The Flourished Protector, excuse me. Why are we still in Warcraft music? Damn it. Back to the Dead playlist. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, I know that one. There it is. Let me up! Let me up! God damn it! Look at this! I'm being held back by like a 2-foot incline. I hate not being able to fly. Okay, whatever, whatever. I could... If I was in the Mako, I would have made it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, come on! Ah! That's a friggin' treasure. Ah, good. He's here. Time to kill this murdering demon hunter scum! Remember, the quest we got for this guy was because he had murdered night elves. Look at this. Ah, the witnesses say it was a demon hunter, a crazed disciple of Illidan, a rare sight. Note that he's gone mad with power, just like his master. Oh, the name of it? Army March, apparently.
Greetings.
Leave me be. I'm here to put an end to your killing.
Farewell.
Blind fool, you have no idea what you're doing. You want to give up yet? I mean, I'm basically you. Seriously, monks are so much demon hunters in terms of raw gameplay style. Enough. Stay your hand.
Hello.
How noble of you, to blindly kill without question, to come from my head on the barest word of another. Sheathe your fury, and hear my tale first. You'll see what noble ignorance has done to these lands.
Goodbye.
A destiny of flame and sorrow. Hang on, I actually want a different song for this. What's the default music here? Nope. There's like a specific song I'm thinking of. Give me a moment. Is that it? Perfect. A destiny of flame and sorrow. My kind has always been hated for what we do. Despised. Outcasts. Accused of corruption beyond redemption. Yet if it was not for a demon hunter, these very woods would be the greatest stronghold of the Legion on Azeroth. I speak of my master, Illidan Stormrage, the Betrayer. See for yourself. See what occurred here when Illidan was first freed, and the demonic forces of the Dreadlord Tichondrius ruled this forest completely unopposed.
Farewell.
I am free after 10,000 years, yet still my own brother thinks I am a villain. I'll show him my true power. I'll show him that the demons have no hold over me. Are you certain of that, Demon Hunter? Are you certain your will is your own? You reek of death, human. You will regret approaching me. Come then. You'll find we're evenly matched. Correct, Takoida. Oh, whatever, Darker. He also didn't have the Lich King armor on back then either. Oh, I'm supposed to help. We could go on fighting like this forever. Is that truly what you want? The Dreadlord who commands this undead army is called Tichondrius. He controls a powerful warlock artifact called the Skull of Gul'dan. It's responsible for corrupting these forests. And you wish me to steal it. Why? Oh, is it, Darker? My bad. My bad. Let's just say I have no love for Tichondrius, and the lord I serve would benefit from the Legion's downfall.
Ishno del Diab.
And so my master set out to find the skull, risking his own life against an army of demons to find the source of corruption. Imagine if he had not. Imagine that these woods would have looked like if the Skull of Gul'dan had continued its work, undisturbed. And I gotta be honest, I know exactly what it would look like. Shadowmoon Valley.
Del Nadris. Can I assist you?
Illidan set out to find the Skull of Gul'dan. He fought through armies of demons to reach it, slaying them with the power that had made him an outcast. See him in battle, monk. Witness the one that fought the fiercest against the corruptors of Felwood and struck at its source.
Asha Fela.
This is where the skull is being kept. These paltry demons will not prevent me from claiming it. No, they won't. Fun fact, this is also a retcon. In Warcraft 3, he had an army, because it was a base building mission. In lore, though, Illidan was alone. Now at least these demons will no longer corrupt the forests. But if I claim this power as my own, I will become stronger than any of Archimonde's lieutenants. Yes, the power should be mine. Now, I am complete! Yeah, exactly,
How may
Darker.
I help?
Now you're beginning to see.
Del Nadris.
Yes, Illidan took the power of the Skull of Gul'dan for himself. But did he flee into the night? Did he use it for his own glory? No. His very first action was to use his power to assault the Dreadlord Tichondrius. Witness his triumph, monk. Witness how Illidan reclaimed Felwood from the demons, and the thanks he was given.
Farewell.
What? Who are you? Let's see how confident you are against one of your own kind, Dreadlord. This is kind of worthy of note. Tichondrius was basically the strongest and highest ranked of all of the Nethrezim, and Illidan bested him one-on-one. Tichondrius also has never come back, although he might. But I like to think that Tichondrius is permadead due to the unique nature of how he was killed. Hey, it's Malfurion and Tyrande. Foul demon, what have you done with my brother? It is I, Malfurion. This is what I have become. No, Illidan, how could you? With your... Why is she like the only Night Elf who speaks with that accent? The leader of the undead has been destroyed, and the forests will heal in time. Oh, absolutely, Darker. At the cost of your soul? You are no brother of mine. Be gone from this land, and never again set foot in our lands. So be it, brother. Whether or not Illidan is sympathetic is always going to be dependent on the individual's perception. But you know what isn't dependent on the individual's perception? Malfurion being a dick to him. I've said it before and I've said it again. The real problem here is that Malfurion's weakness, his blind spot, is his brother. Malfurion is actually a very intelligent, well-reasoned, tolerant person, except when it comes to his brother. I know at least some of you out there know what that feels like. To have one person that you just... they get to you. They affect you. Even if they're not doing anything particular, you're just more antagonistic towards them than you otherwise would be. And I'm sure you know other people who are the same way in reverse, towards you or towards someone else. Malfurion has never really been able to fully get along with his brother. Not ever. Not since the old days. And, yeah. I want to re-stress something here. After the events of Frozen Throne, Illidan is the one who reaches out the olive branch to Malfurion. And he's like, hey, here, I don't want to be your enemy anymore. And Malfurion is like, I guess. You know? But, yeah. Like I said, Malfurion... I just want to smack him every now and again. While Illidan is probably not the best guy in the world, Malfurion really didn't help. Oh, we already did that song. There we go.
Hello.
Do you see now? For doing what was needed to drive the demons from these lands, my master was banished. Now these druids pick up the pieces, patting themselves on the back for scrubbing the remaining vestiges of the Legion's forces. But that's not why I killed them.
Goodbye.
Aha! He did kill them! Holy crap!
Greetings.
Now that you've had a lesson in keeping an open mind, maybe you'd like to learn why I killed those druids. The answer's simple. They're not druids at all. Demons still roam these ruins, now hiding in plain sight in the guise of friendly caretakers. See for yourself. This blindfold is soaked in demon's blood. Take it north to the hills to the Jadefire Run, and place it on your eyes. It will show you, even the most oblivious fool, the true nature of a demon.
Asha Fela.
Oh, Illidan was always the stronger one than Malfurion, and Malfurion was always the smarter one. The two would have made a great pair. Seriously. Malfurion and Illidan would have been almost unstoppable. It would have been like Shepard and Saren over in Mass Effect, if they connected. Also, grats, Lily, on finishing your Lore Master. And hi, Toaster. No, he's not wrong, Dakota. This is not an uncommon thing. Look, Look at all these wonderful druids. Peaceful, happy, content. In the Jadefire ruins for some reason. Why don't we go ahead and see what they actually look like? We put on a blindfold. Get it? My point, Last Exile, is if they managed to stop being at each other's throats. Like, if they managed to actually form a real partnership and work together. It would have been awesome. You will tell no one. Here's a fun question for you. What are these? Based on what they're saying, I'm going to assume yes, Dakoita. But that is an assumption on my part. Since they are aware of the fact that you can tell who they are. But that might be because you're attacking them. So... Enough. Your enthusiasm is impressive, but foolish. Gazing through the veil for too long without practice will break your mind. The rest will be mine. For now, I summon you to me. I have been preying on these demonic impostors for some time now, and I have finally gleaned the location of their leader. It is none other than the Archdruid Navarax, leader of the Emerald Circle. The demon shields himself with innocence. If I enter Whisperwind Grove to hunt him, I would be set upon by ignorant protectors, but you can catch him unaware. Return to the grove, climb the Druid Tower, and you'll find Navarax at the top, in the room amidst the boughs. Oh, that would be horrible, Dakoita. Reminds me of that one Fighters Guild quest in Oblivion. You know the one. Yeah, I guess we'll see, Lily. Of course, we don't know, like, anything about Illidan yet in Legion. They've been very quiet about what's going to happen with him. Bingo, Dakoita. That Demon Hunter has, if assuming he's correct, which we are assuming, he has all the pieces necessary to fix this, except for the fact that, you know, he doesn't actually have any way of dealing with someone who is well invested and well protected. And I do feel like pointing out the Demon Hunter does seem hesitant to just go in and start slaughtering actually innocent people. Not that that makes him a good guy, since, you know, not being willing to slaughter innocents isn't really a trait of heroism, but still. It may also be a matter of pragmatism. Because, yeah. Hello, Archdruid.
I'm listening.
You are accused of being a demon, Navarax. If that's your real name.
Good luck.
Your death will tell a different story. What's going on here? Well, I just killed a satyr. The Archdruid? How in the world? I must tell the others. You should find Huntress Salura right away. So the funny thing is, this is completely expected. In fact, this is the kind of thing I'm amazed they didn't predict happening. Remember, the Emerald Circle is here without backing, because they've split from the... Or excuse me, the Emerald Circle is here without backing from the Cenarian Circle. And they have been working intimately in a completely fel-infused forest for years. I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised they weren't infiltrated before now. Or maybe they were. And it took a demon hunter to figure it out. It's hard to believe everything you say, but the body of the demon is grim proof. I will order an investigation into the druids at Jadefire Run right away and make sure the higher-ups know that a demon hunter may be content to remain in exile. Oh, how kind of you.
Farewell.
Truly, you are a boon of graciousness.
I seen you around here before.
Ah, this happy friend stuff is great, ain't it? People working together, healing the forest. But what's gonna happen when the forest when it's healed? It's just gonna sit there? We need this lumber. The Horde needs it. I got orders to send as many loyal Horde soldiers, and I'm sure you're loyal, up north. Oh, damn it, I forgot about these quests.
Don't be a stranger.
I forgot about these quests. I lied. There is one last Horde Alliance thing here. For the Horde. Exactly, Dakota. We aren't 100% sure, Timzo. So yeah, time to go fight the Alliance for no reason. For the Horde. Yeah, I've actually done this zone on a Worgen and a Goblin. Without really intending to, I just kind of ended up doing it that way. Ham.
Yo.
Alright.
Glad I could help. Be careful out there.
So, this is an interesting quote. If we don't increase production as much as possible, the Horde might lose the war. And if the Horde loses the war, we're out on our butts at best and dead at worst. I hate to break it to you, but the pretty things you might have heard at Whisperwind Grove won't save us. But hard work might. This quest is
to the ground.
Interesting to me, because it really highlights how completely screwed the goblins really are for being shackled to Garrosh's Horde. I'm not sure, Zoan. So, three things come out of Iron Tree Clearing. Lumber, oil, and exhausted workers. First two are pretty much the cause of the third, but I like to be efficient about things where I can. I've got our shredders working triple unpaid overtime. There's really nowhere on the schedule for them to get maintenance. Use this grappling hook to nab some of the extra oil cans around the can and use them to oil up the shredders, would you? Okay, I can do that. This operation stayed pretty discreet so far, but the Worgen over in Talonbranch Glade have it out for us. They've been trying everything they can to get us shut down. Some of the workers told me they've seen glimpses of Worgen lying around the clean. Take these mega flares. They're bright enough to show anything that gets near them. Okay, I can do that. I'm literally oiling shredders as they're going. That's kind of hilarious, actually. But yeah, so I do feel a little bit bad for the Bilgewater Cartel, because it's basically, you will continue working for the Horde or we'll kill you. That's the choice they are offered. Work for the Horde or die. Oh, crap. Death to the Worgen! Hey, Shadow. Probably not, Zoan. It's very unlike them to turn a player character race into a neutral race. It'd be interesting to see it happen, though. I suppose it depends on what Vol'jin does with them in the future. They really did not like being a part of Garrosh's Horde. The only group that did was Black Fuse's group, and he's really a completely separate organization. The server I'm on is called the official live servers. That's what I'm playing on. As I fling oil at machines to get them running better. That's how that works, right? Right, okay. Oh, we'd all love to see sub-races. Holy crap. Seriously. I feel like a real hunter, guys. Seriously. I used to hate hunting for rogues. Or, yeah. In Battlegrounds and whatnot. I would not play a Dark Iron, but I would play an Iron. Would I? Am I seriously the only one, by the way, who would want to play an Iron Dwarf? Because that's just awesome. I know they're not dwarves. I don't care. They're awesome.
Death to the Worgen. They're revealing the rogues, by which I mean the Rogan. Worgen. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Frostborn wasn't offered as well. Frostborn, Earthen, Dark Iron, Wildhammer. You can kind of play a Wildhammer now. Dwarves probably have the most options for subrace, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Mechanomes for the win. Yeah, literally the only downside I've ever heard to the idea of adding subraces is some races would get tons, like dwarves, for example, and some would get, like, none, basically. Although one thing that's been requested for a very long time is the ability to play undead non-humans. A lot of people with role-playing are already not playing human Forsaken. And I count myself among those. My Forsaken is actually, was a Night Elf. Once upon a time, before dying and then being brought, freed by Sylvanas. Yeah, humans have, like, no sub-race options. The only real option there is a midget Valkyr. Or Vrykul, excuse me, Vrykul. And that's it. What do you do with humans, you know? Do you like it, Ezra? There's a reason I picked this playlist for this zone. It just seemed to fit.
What's shaking?
Efficiency in the workforce. Wonderful. Maybe I should check on the goblins inside those shredders later.
Go get him, champ.
Mangy curse, think they can waltz in and ruin my finely tuned operation. Ah! I told you not to look directly at the flares, right? Oops.
See you around, friend. Catch you on the flip side. Keep it real.
Can you believe the Worgen have wisps? The Night Elves showed them all that druid junk, and now they got all their precious little wisps, too, giving them all the building material they want without ever having to harm any precious trees. If we had those things, we could pull extra wood out of every tree in our site. Free resources, free profit. So I've been working with this containment device. By the way, the lumber problem would go away if the Night Elves would share their wisp technology, for lack of a better term, with everyone else. Think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. The Night Elves can extract lumber without damaging the trees, thanks to the magic of their naturalistic wisp extraction process. That was true in Warcraft 3, and that's actually true in lore, too. Imagine how much the resource problem of the Horde would dwindle, at the very least. And the Alliance, too, if they would share that freaking ability. But no, they're freaking Night Elves. Like,
No, we will never share it. We will never share our power. We are the Night Elves.
sorry. I'm not saying Garrosh should get endless resources. I am saying Vol'jin should get endless resources. Or Thrall. Seriously. Thrall especially would have a total understanding of how valuable of a gift that is, and how it shouldn't be abused, because he's a frickin' shaman. You know? Yeah, this is another situation where the Night Elves are effectively creating their own problem. If they had shared this ability with Thrall's Horde, they might not have had the resource problem they had, and because they didn't share it, that led to the deforestation of Ashenvale. The drawback to the Wisp technology, again, for lack of a better term, is that it's slow. It slowly extracts the lumber, while at the same time replenishing it with the natural energy of the Wisp. So you can't rush it, really, if you follow. It has to be this slow, balanced process. Again, just like it was in Warcraft 3. So that's the downside. If you need a lot of lumber now, it's not going to work. But it's an infinite freaking lumber source. As long as those wisps are willing to work with you, you know? Because you can't force a wisp to do that. At least I don't think you can. Yeah, like I said, I am in awe of how short-sighted the Night Elves tend to be. Hey, Deutsch. Can I have a burger? I can has cheeseburger. In response to Azura's question, that was actually a song from Four Heroes of Light. I forget the name of it. I can look that up really quick. That was called Cursed Town. And if you haven't played Four Heroes of Light, I sort of recommend it. It's the prequel, sort of, to Bravely Default. And I know a lot more people know about Bravely Default than they know about Four Heroes of Light. It'd be more accurate to say, actually, that it was the first game in that series. There's not a lot of things connecting Four Heroes of Light to Bravely Default, but it is actually connected. Alright, Deutsch, I'll be in Arizona in about 4 days. Ah, sigh. Freaking Night Elves. But yeah, getting... I don't even know what to say about this, really. I really don't. Even if the Night Elves don't want to just give away this lumber thing, why not have them profit from it? Trade, there's so many things that the other races could give to the Night Elves in exchange for this ability. Or just in exchange for the lumber itself, you know? Trade is basically the basis of all human civilization in real life. You can't tell me the Night Elves couldn't benefit from something that could be provided to them in exchange for lumber. And yeah, they could effectively have a monopoly on certain types of wood. If they... That is the least reliable looking... That's a scarecrow. I just realized. Anyways.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Have a good one. Don't be a stranger. What's the word on the street?
Yeah, we're almost done here. Oh, for... Not again! If you heard the deputy yelling out there, it means we've got a full-blown oil leak on our hands. It's those filthy Worgen again. Listen. It's gonna be total chaos out there. Sleep-deprived goblins running around screaming and not knowing what to do. I need you to snap the workers back to their senses.
Catch you on the flip side.
Last time we had an oil leak this bad, the oil itself tried to get away. I don't know what does it. Maybe it's all the demon goop floating around here. But when we get a bit enough crude, half leak, half of it globs together and tries to get away. There's no profit in trying to...
Keep it real.
That's... Oh my god, really? Demonic-infused oil. What Takoida says is also true. Hey, get yourself together, man! Smack. We're literally smacking sense into the workers, by the way. That's literally what we're doing. The Alliance side of the quest is exactly what you'd imagine it is. It's basically the other side of it. You help the Worgen to screw over the goblins. Now, it's funny because the Worgen basically look at the goblins and think, ah, greedy bastards. All they want to do is mine and destroy. We've just started reclaiming this forest. We must stop them. And that is absolutely valid. Other than the fact that, as I pointed out, the goblins here are actually legitimately desperate for these resources in order to continue functioning and existing. And no, that was actually... Oh, it was Mario Galaxy. My bad. Mario Galaxy 2, specifically. I'll give you a different one. So... I know, I sound like a a broken record here, but the Worgen, rather than doing anything logical here, immediately decide that the goblins must be extinguished and do everything they can to stop them. And the goblins naturally fight back because they're fighting for their survival. Now I know what you're saying, well, how could there possibly be a peaceful resolution here? To which I say, how hard would it be for the Alliance to gain the allegiance of the Black Waters? Think about that for a moment. Keep in mind the Alliance came really close to getting the Blood Elves back. And again, the Black Waters aren't actually loyal to the Horde per se. They're certainly not loyal to Garrosh. So the goblins, as I've mentioned, are actually basically abused and misused underneath Garrosh. So Even if they didn't get them to join the Alliance, getting them to split from the Horde in exchange for protection, basically, or someplace to live or something, really strikes me as the kind of deal that would take them no time or effort whatsoever to accomplish. However, as Raskar points out, that would basically be you have to, from a military perspective, that would mean you have to devote resources and troops to protect a former enemy to deny your actual enemy that resource of that enemy. So whether that as actually, whether that's actually a valid thing or not, is more of a tactical calculation situation. I don't actually know how that would work out. Hang on, I need to smack some sense into Blizz devs. I'll be right back.
Yeah, what do you want?
I do find it interesting that there's oil in Felwood. I also find it interesting that they're using demonically infused oil. That cannot possibly end well.
Goblin products are built to blast.
Hey, how you doing?
Be sure to get at least 2 hours rest between shifts. Oh my god. It's not working. We have to shut off the source.
Be careful out there. Don't be a stranger.
What the heck is going on here? Foreman Pickwick should have shut off the valves by now. We can cap these leaks all day in the central if the central valve is off, we're just delaying an enormous explosion. Listen, if you value money, life, or either combination of the two, you better head south to the Iron Tree Cavern and see if you can find the foreman.
Go get him, champ.
Alright, let's do it. Let's prevent a massive explosion of oil and death here, shall we? I'm not even sure, Takoida. But in answer to your earlier comment, Takoida, I think it's possible that they just don't value oil as much as they would for their ships, because most of their their offensive ships, their warships, are actually sail powered. Very few of the Alliance or Horde ships are actually oil powered at this point in time. I don't know if that's indicative. I don't know if they found something else. I don't know if they decided they didn't want to keep drilling the oil up. I don't actually know what the reason is for the devaluing of oil. They still value oil, obviously. Just, yeah, it hasn't become like this amazing, powerful resource. Hey, Wraith.
What?
It's a disaster down here. The pump's thrown. All my men are gone. You gotta help.
On your way.
It's those damn Worgen. They blew right past me into the cavern. They must have messed with the master control pump. That thing's left on too long, every pipe running under our feet's gonna blow. You think leaks are bad? Just you wait. Listen, you can reach the master control pump all the way in the back of the cavern. You can shut it off and save us all.
Move it!
All my workers got driven straight out of the caverns here by the big swamp-looking things. Jarlath sent me in to pick up the pieces, but have you seen it in there? I ain't going in. There's a ton of explosives up behind. We can't just leave lying around. I'll make you a deal. You run in there and get those explosives, and I'll stay here and not get killed. And if you don't either, I'll pay you. How's that sound?
Go! Go!
Best deal ever. I'll go do stuff, and you stand there. I think Worgen? I'm not actually sure. Well, there is another possibility, Takoida. Remember, the oil-driven ships were during the Second War, when both sides were kind of desperate for a win, and were in a state of total war against each other. And that was the Demonic Horde versus the Grand Alliance. So, both of them were a little bit more, Yes, I know Zoan. That's why I said I'm pretty sure it's the Worgen. I think it's the Worgen. I shouldn't say pretty sure. I suspect it's the Worgen. Anyways, so both sides were willing to be more damaging to the environment, basically, and to burn resources more in the war effort, because both sides were basically fighting as hard as they possibly could. So it's possible that the reason they had such a reliance on oil back then was because of that, because oil was actually less efficient and possibly even less useful than stuff they would invent or design later on. But they needed it now. So pumping up the crude in order to get their fleets going was something that was deemed acceptable by both sides. And of course, it's not just the fleets. Most of the airships, air vessels they had at the time, and most of their upgrades also used oil as well, if you'll recall. And that's not true, Taqueda. That's not true. One of them is. Exactly one. Which is funny, because when I first saw that one ship, I was like, aha! The one ship! Oh, the Grand Alliance is the current alliance? My bad. There's been 3 alliances, so I get them a little confused. Too many alliances. There's also the Horde, which is also the alliance. Hey, Backsiege. What's up? So these explosives are apparently used for mining operations, tree felling, and practical jokes. That's rather efficient. Hey, gold! Holy crap. You turn the largest handle you can find to turn off the master control pump, and the nearby rattling noises stop. This gives you a few moments to hear the sound of flames outside before a familiar voice cuts in through a tiny speaker. Oh, land's sake, partner, you done shut off those valves, but good. Fortunately, we've had a critical blowout on our gosh darn central burn-off regulator. Mrs. Daria has gone as many workers as she can, rustled to go shut it off, but those flames have a mind of their own. Literally, they're hopping up and grabbing anyone who comes near, so Darla says if you can muster out of that cave and beat that elemental, she's got a mighty fine prize in store for you. Okay. That was the Scarecrow that just gave us that quest, by the way. Through the radio, obviously. I can't do that kind of accent very well, forgive me. Oh my god, why are there so few explosives in this cave? Is this a goblin cave or isn't it? Come on. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think the goblins were screwed from the beginning. The Blackwater goblins, specifically. They were pretty well set up on Kazan. And then Deathwing happened. And now they're screwed forever. Seriously, there's basically no actual long-term way this is going to work out for them. We're in Felwood, Backsiege. Can't you tell by the music? Yeah, there's another player in here stealing explosives. That's the problem. A hunter, night elf, I believe. That is true, but, and as we've actually kind of talked about, that is one of the reasons why I look at the Alliance like, really? Really? That's what you're going to do? You're just going to flat out attack... Again, I want to re-stress this. I talked about this during the Goblin Starter Zone. You're just going to flat out attack civilians in order to protect a mission that probably shouldn't be happening anyways? But yes, the Alliance did attack them. But of course, as we all know, the Alliance is not actually that unified, so it wouldn't be that hard for some actual leaders who have, I don't know, brains amongst the Alliance to say, hey! I still don't think it would work out long term, because again, the goblins are screwed. Mostly because of the Cataclysm.
Makes sense.
We had a deal, right? Right? Hey, nice! I'll just take those, carefully. Don't go telling the workers I didn't have the guts to go down there myself, you hear? Here's your pay, and a little something extra.
Careful out there.
Steak and eggs? You suck. WKZ. Oh, well. I will have lunch as soon as I finish Felwood. Leftovers, as it happens. Whoa! The land suffers and rages. Quick, let me set him on fire. That'll work.
Hey, come back here. Honestly, I couldn't see Magni ever being okay with helping the goblins. I mean, Magni was a decent fellow. Really, he was. And he was probably the best leader the Alliance has ever had. The current Alliance. But, he had his own flaws. Moira! Oh, excuse me. He also was a little short-sighted when it came to certain things. Mekatork isn't even a leader. Tyranda's a warmonger. Malfurion tries really hard not to give a damn about what's going on with the Alliance and the Horde. And succeeds, basically. With like only a few exceptions. Greymane is never, ever going to accept peace from the other side. In any fashion. And Varian, well, Varian now might be willing to accept that.
Well, spit it out.
Well, my entire operation's been ruined, but you came through in a cinch. Could have been worse. I gotta hand it to you. Okay, I know this is a long shot, but I figure it never hurts to ask. While I deal with the fallout of all the ridiculous nonsense that just went on here, I need to speak to some bears. The Timbermaw Furbog control the forest to the northeast, and they're not too fond of us. I just need someone to give them the idea that the Horde isn't all that bad. Head up there, don't go to Felpal Village, and ask the Furbog if they have any favors they'd like done.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah, sure, I can go do that. Well, a few possibilities come to mind, Tecleto. First of all, he is a demon now. And like all demons, they just need some kind of other source for their powers. It's one of the reasons why so many demons literally feed off of the magic of others, like Doomguards, for example. Hang on, so one's making me look something up. Give me a second. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's actually been 4 alliances. Very good, Justbender. Very good. I always smile when someone recognizes Secret of Mana because it's such an underappreciated game. Probably not, Lilu. The only way for there to be peace is if we wipe out the current generation and let the kids grow up in a new generation of working together. I don't know, Hiroki Kikuta's overall style is very different than Nobuo Uematsu's, so I don't know, Shadow. So, 4 alliances. I'm going to have to now explain that because the one is going to jump down my throat if I don't. There's the obvious alliance, the current one. And then there's the previous alliance, the alliance of Lordaeron. Then there's the alliance, which is actually funny. The third one is the alliance between the Taurens, Trolls, Orcs, Humans, Dwarves, Elves, and Night Elves, unified in Warcraft 3 against the forces of the Burning Legion. And the 4th alliance is actually referred to as the New Alliance. The New Alliance doesn't exist anymore. They were wiped out. The New Alliance were the forces that were run by Garithos, the racist bastard up in Lordaeron, along with the Blood Elves and the dwarves who were still loyal to him. Those are the 4 alliances. We Furbog are not foolish, Ironland. We will not yield Timbermaw Hold to any askers. However, we are also in dire need of assistance. If you help us, we will grant you favor and allow you passage. Now, the 4th one's the technically. The 3rd one I was thinking of was the alliance of everybody against the Legion. AKA the group that should still be allied. And wow, god damn it, I hate this. There's a camp of Deadwood Furbogs directly to the southwest. Corruption permeates the camp, and I wish to put an end to it before they become a problem. The Deadwood tribe is evil, but it is the effects of the fell that pollutes their minds. Their hostility is not truly an innate quality, yet they cannot be helped. We must kill them all! Okay, I can do that. And get their weapons. Yes, that's the one, Isaac.
Oh, it's one of the kids. It's one of the cubs from earlier. Oh, okay, I'll change a gem key. This is from Seiken Densetsu 3. We'll go to something from Metroid instead. Stupid Drizzle. I told him not to go. Drizzle wanted to steal honey from the Fellpaw. You know, just west of here. You can see from the cliff. Anyways, I told him it was a stupid idea, and he went and they got him. I don't know what they're going to do. Please find him, Mr. Pendarn. Even if he is a dummy, I don't want him to get eaten. Okay, don't worry. I'll find your friend. I'll find your friend. Looks like I was wrong, by the way. We will not be hitting 60 in Felwood because it's gray. Probably the Blood Elves, Permeus. They've finally, for the first time, had a chance to recover, and they've been advancing their military power and their magical and technological understanding since then, so... Yeah, I know, weird, huh, Deutsch? We're not going to hit 60 until the last zone we do. I figured we'd be like 63 by the time we got to our last zone, or 62, or something like that, but nope. No flying for me. This character will never fly. Sadness. I could see Torrents too. For basically the same general reason that you're probably thinking. About 3 weeks ago, Toaster. Yeah, I'm neutral with Timbermaw. No, Winter Spring is the last zone I'll be doing. Thankfully, Winter Spring is actually fun to do in Cataclysm. Not too much to discuss there, but, you know, it's a fun zone. Yes, soon we'll be playing as a Forsaken. And it will be glorious, beautiful, wonderful, horribly, incredibly amazing. Oh, thanks. I don't have any buffs to give you, so thanks. Help. Please help. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get caught. They can't grab me and put this chain on me and left me here, and I can't move with my leg, fell asleep, but I'm hungry, and the chief has the key. He's the only other one. He's at the north end. Please hurry. Don't leave me alone here. Okay, okay, I'll help you. Don't worry, little kid. I got this. Gong? Did you get the key? Thank you. I'm getting out of here. And if Farrell sent you here, don't tell her I was crying. Let's say, by this point, we're at the very least a level 50 character. We should have the ability to just snap the chains, for God's sakes. Oh no, this is an appropriate song for this area. Oh, the one that idiot was spamming the other day. I remember that now. I usually don't hear the gong, because I usually hear it cast once. I mean, we did it 3 weeks ago, Toaster. We did BC 3 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks ago, or something like that. It's been a while. I do not appear to have a buff. Oh, there it is. I get it at... 81, apparently. I get it at 81. Wow. Here, look at me, look at me. Looks like about 300, give or take. Not much, in other words. Blizzard. At least a good blizzard. I sense you have achieved victory. Victory. Such a hollow word, considering what you had to do. Regardless, you've proven yourself worthy of our trust. It may take some time before the Timber Maw welcome you without hostility. Still, your perseverance will erode any suspicion my brethren have about you. So long as you never betray us and raise your weapons against us, we will find common ground. Friendly. Who remembers going through this damned place while not being friendly? I used to hate this run through this place. I used to also run interference for other characters. I'd run ahead and intentionally aggro stuff so they could run through and, you know, not die. And it would still usually involve at least 2 deaths. This is Timber Maw Hold. I don't actually have much to talk about here. Like, at all, really. But, this is pretty much the primary hold of the Timber Maw, and as such, the sacred ancestral grounds of the Furbog on this continent. I already talked about that, though, so I really don't have anything else to add to that. But now, Winter Spring. Listen, real music. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause, go get some lunch. I actually have leftovers, so I'm going to be taking a shorter lunch break than usual, and we're going to jump right into Winter Spring, and we'll talk about it when we get there. So I will be back, guys.